Looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey now. That sounds low. There we go. Welcome to your Monday. Everybody. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Thank you guys for joining us today. We had a pretty good week last week with the holiday store. Remember, you can always donate from now until I think Christmas Eve. Hell, just donate beyond that. But for the holiday store, I think it's until Christmas Eve. You got to text WTIC to 31333. If you haven't done it yet, please do. Doesn't matter what you donate, $1, $2, it doesn't matter. Just send it on over there when you text WTIC 31333. And they'll get those donations. We're trying to get that money up really, really high so that we can get a plunge, as it were, from Joey. He's going to take a plunge into the pond at Camp Connery, and they tell me it's murky in those waters. At least that's what I heard. But he's going to do it anyway. Also, if you want to chime in the chat room, you got to go to YouTube or you got to go to X. And, of course, it's Reese on the Radio. Just look up Reese on the Radio. You'll find it there, either YouTube or X, in order for you to get into the chat room. Or you can just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. It is there live for you to chat on the program today. We got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into. I will talk about the Rob Reiner thing. And it will not be in Hollywood news because everyone's talking about it. Usually when I do Hollywood news, it's stories that you haven't heard going on in Hollywood. It would be ridiculous to wait until the 5 o'clock hour to cover that. So I'm going to cover it relatively early because there are some people out there who are talking about Donald Trump and not about the murder. Fine. If that's what you want to do, we'll do it. But I hope that people are waiting for me to opine about this in an objective way. And some people may not like it. I don't care what they hear, but it must be said. So stay tuned for that. We'll also talk about, I guess, new reports that Erica Kirk is going to be meeting with Candace Owens, for those of you who care. I don't, but we'll talk about it. What's this meeting about? Who knows? It's Christmas time, and people need news. There's some people who are taking advantage of the murder of Rob Reiner and his wife, and they're probably going to turn it into... And again, it is an important story, but what they're making of it is... That's something that we'll have to get into. We just will. Also, I want to talk a little bit about manufacturing today. I saw a report about the Ford CEO talking about what some of his part-time employees are making as a salary, which took me down a rabbit hole into manufacturing and our younger generation. We'll talk about that a little bit, and I want to get your take on that at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. But before that, I'm going to have to chastise a few people. And as I always say on this program, if it don't apply, let it fly. If you weren't one of the people I'm talking about, let it go. But if you were, talking to you. Who here remembers when they said to me on this program, you ain't never going to get Richard Blumenthal on this program? Who said it? Was it you? Maybe it was you. It's probably you. Now, I'm not bragging that he came on the program last Friday, but I am a little ticked off. I am a little ticked off at your response to it as I posted the picture online. And there was only one thing that anyone should have been paying attention to, but you didn't. And this is why I'm going after you. When Richard Blumenthal, or Dick Blumenthal as I call him, came into my sights, I said we were going to deal with the problem with diquat, dequat, or whatever in the water, in the Connecticut River. I said I would deal with it. I said I would put a stop to it. Many of you said, good luck trying. We had politicians on the program. Good luck, Reese. Sure, you're going to stop it. They laughed at me. I said, okay, challenge accepted. No one thought I'd get anywhere with Dick Blumenthal. He comes on his show on Friday. What say you now? Many of you believed that was never going to happen. Even when I approached him last month when he was endorsing John Larson. And then I told you that he called me. A lot of you didn't even believe that happened. Sure he did. Until Friday when Dick Blumenthal openly admitted I have his personal cell phone number. Why? Because he called me directly from it, which he totally confirmed. People told me, no, that wasn't going to happen. It happened. He came onto the show on Friday, of course, to talk about the holiday store, and we appreciate him coming down, showing his support. That's the most important part. Showing his support was paramount. But we dabbled a little bit into the diquat issue, which he admitted he wasn't an expert on, but he would listen to us. We're going to get him in contact with Greg Bugby, get him in contact with C&D Underwater Maintenance, and make that happen. He's the guy who's financing all of the work that's in the Connecticut River. He's the guy who wants to put an end to pollution in our waterways. And he understands now that he didn't have all of the information. And he's trusting us with it. But what did I get for posting, as I did, as promised? Richard Blumenthal is listening to us so that we can get the thing done that we said we were going to get done. You want to know what I got? I got a whole bunch of, he's this, he's that, this, the crypt keeper, this, all of this evil. A couple of people, went there and said, I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised that he came on to the show. It's good that he did show up on the show. You may not like him, and I get it. You may hate the guy. Don't care. What did I tell you our mission was? My mission was, 1, to get him on the air, 2, to listen to what we were concerned about and see if we could get some action on it, which is what I have done. I promised it and I delivered. But not one person, with the exception of a few, not one of you, you didn't even care about it. You started screaming and hollering about he's this and that, and talking about him lying about his military record. Really? Are we still on that? Yes, he lied about going to Vietnam. But what was the purpose of him being on the show? To litigate Vietnam? And this is not cover for Dick Blumenthal. It's about what I told you he was coming on the program for. And I can't seem to get anybody focused. So my purpose right now is to tell you, you can't tell me squat. None of you. And I'm sorry if that offends you. But from now on, stop telling me what we can't achieve. I told you I was going to get to the bottom of this. I warned you that I would get to the bottom of this. Do not ever second guess me. I am not here to play games. I'm not here to bloviate. I'm not like the rest of these guys who wake up every morning talking about what we're going to complain about today. I told you those days were over. And then when I actually get results, do you know what you do? Let's complain again. You do not get it. This is the reason why I don't ask other people to do the job that I'm not willing to do. And I'm sorry, with all due respect, I know you like this show. I know you like calling Reese on the radio the tell it like it is guy. I'm not the tell it like it is guy. I'm not. I am not so arrogant to tell you like it is. I just want to talk about what we can do and get it done. I have a plan. I have an execution that I wish to pursue and get it done. I am not a tell it like it is guy. This is not about bloviating. I don't care about bloviating. So if you are not a part of it, if you just want to be the person who gets online behind your keyboard and spews a bunch of nonsense about what you hate and what you can't stand, or how much you hate this individual and that individual, and you haven't lifted a finger, or not even willing to lift a finger to get results, I want no parts of you. I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't work under those conditions. What should have been said on my page, what should have been was, damn, Reese, I didn't believe that you get him there. Step 1 complete. Or step 2 complete. Damn, okay. Reese, if you get this done, I think we can trust you. Way to go, Reese. Hey, we actually might get something done. Wow, we may have been going about this the wrong way. And people called me arrogant for it. People were actually complaining about me being arrogant about it. And then you get results, or you give them results of your hard work. And what do these people say to you? Instead of the obvious, damn, didn't know you could do it. You go on and on about stuff that has nothing to do with it. Nothing. Perhaps the truth is you don't want change. Perhaps the truth is you don't want it to be improved. Perhaps you live for the argument. Perhaps you live to be agitated. You become so comfortable with being angry or being, I don't know, disenfranchised, that's your comfort level. You have become, I don't know, you're in love. You're in love with being angry. That's your default setting. Do you want to get DQuad out of the water? Do you want them to stop using your tax dollars to poison the water? That was our mission, right? Are you down with that mission? Does that mean anything to you? Because it does to me. And that's what I'm going to get done. other things with Richard Blumenthal, Dick Blumenthal, that I want to address. We'll develop a relationship so we can address every one of those things. We now have a relationship with him. He will come on the program. It is evident that he will. Naysayers be damned. You're done. You're out of this conversation. You're finished. You guys think, oh, Chris Murphy will never be here. Okay. And then when he is, guess what you'll say? I can't believe it. And then you'll go right back into the diatribe. He's a this, that, and the third. You won't pay any attention to what we achieved. You want to be naysayers. I get it. You want to be mad. Fine. That's your deal. But that's never going to stop me from what I'm doing. You can criticize me all day. I have a job to do. And just to those, and you know who you are, who went on the site, went on my Facebook page to admonish the senator with no focus. Did you even listen to the interview? Did you go back to WTIC.com? Did you download the Odyssey app and listen to the interview? Maybe you should. Did you just see the picture of me sitting next to Dick Blumenthal and go, oh, he's on this, that, and the third? Did you even listen? Did you put any effort in? No, probably not. Even my leftist naysayers were smart enough to stay off my page. They kept their mouths shut. Because they were the biggest and the loudest mouths. He's never coming on your program. Now they have nothing. Now they have to be quiet. Again, what I do is I prove them wrong. That's my job here. Not just, and by the way, not just to prove them wrong, but to actually get results. That's how I prove them. Is wronger a good word? That's how I do it. I don't want you to have faith. I'm not looking for you to have faith in me. I would, you know, jump on my back and I'll ride you. Just not what this is about. This isn't even to brag. This is just to set the record straight. You either want to win, you're interested in winning, or you become comfortable with losing. I get it. You spent a lot of time where no one's listened to you. You feel like everything you've ever said has fallen on deaf ears. Get it. Totally get it. I don't operate that way. When I tell people they're going to listen to me, they're going to listen to me. I tell people right to their face. I don't care about being kind or being friendly. I tell them right to their face, you're not listening, and you should. I told Ryan Fazio that yesterday, sorry. I told Ryan Fazio that yesterday. Republicans, you're not listening to me. You should. And then when they do, guess what they say? Same thing Ryan Fazio said to me last afternoon. You know, it's a really, really good idea. Yeah. Stunning. I'm in the results business, folks. That's what I'm into. I'm in the results business. That's why I'm dogged on everything. That's why my research here and my work here, my work ethic here is solid. You can, like I said, join the winners or stick to complaining. When we come back, I'll talk about that meeting with Ryan Fazio yesterday in Colchester. And my good friend Craig in the car was there as well, along with my wife. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff as well. The Rob Reiner thing is coming up a little bit after headlines, so stand by for that. All right. If you want to call, you want to respond, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On News Radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Hi, it's Morgan Cunningham, and you may be most used to hearing me during the week delivering news updates. You know, the whole Morgan Cunningham WTIC 1080 news thing. But did you know that on Saturdays after 2 o'clock, I host Spotlight Connecticut? That's my talk show where I find all kinds of different people, places, things involving Connecticut and put them in 1 hour long-form interview conversation format for you to learn something new about Connecticut, newsmakers that you generally would not hear during the week on WTIC because they're not the run-of-the-mill usual newsmakers, but that doesn't mean that they can't make news the same. Check me out Saturday afternoons at 2 on WTIC NewsTalk 1080, WTIC.com, and on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Bills Happen.
That office lunch can be a budget buster. We spend an average of $108 a week on work lunches, up from $88 a year ago, according to new numbers from Easy Cater. Ed Jertson of the Engaged Wealth Group in Chicago says going out for that little lunch could be a big drain on your budget.
We all need to eat, but we all don't need to eat at that cost and that price point.
I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
And now, a WTIC news update.
.230 Hartford temperature 26 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We will have a mix of clouds and sun, let's call it, for this Monday afternoon. Temperatures, though, not getting out of the 20s, and it stays pretty breezy as well. We'll have the forecast details coming up. Work continues to repair a water main in Waterbury that's left the majority of the city without service. They put in an emergency valve overnight to bypass the break, but they still have to test the water to make sure it is potable. Results, though, might not be in before Wednesday. Now, as they work to do all this, the city says 10 truckloads of bottled water should be ready for distribution at any moment now at Municipal Stadium and Crosby High School. School is also postponed again on Tuesday. An arrest in the murders of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. The Reiner's 32-year-old son Nick is charged. A couple were found in their L.A. home Sunday with stab wounds. Nick is being held on a $4 million bond. The manhunt for the triggermen in the shooting on the campus of Brown University in Providence on Saturday continues. A person of interest who was initially detained has been let go. 2 people were killed and several others sustained gunshot wounds. Name of a woman killed in a crash over the weekend on routes 5 and 15 in Wethersfield has been released. State police say Wendy Lara's vehicle hit another head-on late Saturday night. The others in that second vehicle sustained minor injuries. WTIC News Time is 2:32. Here's Bob with the forecast.
It's going to remain dry and cold out there this afternoon. Temperatures in the 20s, wind chills in the teens. Northwest wind 10 to 20 with higher gusts, but the wind speeds will decrease tonight. Sky conditions tonight will be partly to mostly cloudy with lows in the teens. Then it becomes mostly sunny Tuesday. Highs in the low 30s. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, lows 18 to 25. Mostly sunny Wednesday. Temperatures moderate further, reaching the low to mid-40s. Partly to mostly sunny Thursday, highs in the 40s. Some rain Thursday night and Friday morning, with temperatures rising into the 50s, but turning colder during the afternoon and evening Friday. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 67 points, NASDAQ's down 93, and the S&P is off 7 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Be a guest at your own holiday party. Let Highland Park Market do the work. From vegetable platters, cold cut platters, and gourmet party platters to a full catered event. Nobody does it better than Highland Park Market. Only in Manchester, Glastonbury, Farmington, and at HighlandParkMarket.com.
Connecticut business owners planning for 2026? If you're ready for a smarter way to reach your customers, it's time to put Odyssey in your marketing mix. Radio, streaming, podcasting, we do it all. Visit WTIC.com and click Advertise with Us to fill out a contact form today.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks, and truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
I'm Tom Tierney from the Green Cremation. When my family started this company, we wanted to give Connecticut families a kinder, more sustainable choice. Our water-based process, known as aquamation, is a gentle, flame-free alternative that eliminates smoke, fumes, and toxic emissions. It's a natural, peaceful way to return your loved one to the earth while protecting the planet for future generations. As Connecticut's only provider, we're honored to help families make a difference, one farewell at a time. Visit thegreencremation.com to learn more or pre-plan today.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Hey, now, we are back. Reese on the radio. WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't forget the telephone number, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Join us on X or join us on YouTube. I actually just posted that on Facebook for those of you people who are used to the show being on Facebook, but they have banned us for comments we made 4 years ago during COVID. Anyway, thank you, Craig. Craig got me a hat a couple of days ago, and I'm rocking it today in a Zuzu hat. You didn't even know that company was still around until I met Craig. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, so I went to Colchester yesterday to go meet Ryan Fazio. He had a meet and greet yesterday. I want to thank Pam for the amazing cookies and the invitation. She's his communication person. We had a great talk yesterday, Ryan and I. He will be on the program on Friday at the Holiday Store in Avon Old Farms. So he'll be with us. He'll talk to us for about an hour. Get it together, Aaron. He's coming in for an hour. Aaron Stewart will be back soon as well. There were a lot of people there who were concerned about the election and about election integrity. In fact, Donald Trump just talked about that a couple of days ago. I think it was over at the Christmas party. And he talked about the 2020 election, which I'm very much interested in. I'm going to play that soundbite later on as well, with Donald Trump saying that there's a treasure trove of information about the 2020 election. And on Thursday, we will talk to someone who has gathered that evidence to support his claims about fraud in the election, especially here in the state of Connecticut. And many people know about this, but they are quiet as kept. I don't get it. I don't know who you are, what you are. And I'm going to just say this, because I'm a really reasonably transparent person. I don't like telling other people's stories. I tell my own. But I'll never forget when people were saying to me, you know, that election thing, you know, with the election in 2020 being rigged, you know, it's really volatile. You know, there's so much misinformation about that. And I was really ticked off at people using that word. In fact, when they use it today, it still irks me. But that has more to do with me than it does the people who use it. Because now it's like it's got that dismissive air about it when you say misinformation or disinformation. It's never a lie. Just call it a lie. Have the temerity, have the guts to just say, stop spreading lies. Just call it a lie. That's what I would call it. I'll tell you to your face you're a liar. I'm not going to say it's like, you're spreading misinformation. I never use it. You're lying. Especially when you are. No, what you just said is a lie. It's an absolute lie. What do you mean it's a lie? I don't know. Do you not know the definition of lie? Have you been using misinformation and disinformation so much that you forgot what an out-and-out lie is? That you don't even know the definition of that word? Is it so archaic that now when you hear the word lie, how do you mean? And I'm sorry, but that's the way people respond to me when I call them a liar. You're a flat-out liar. What do you mean? You confused? Not telling the truth. Lies. And people have become comfortable with it. Incredibly comfortable. And at pushing people away, sort of dismissing them or brushing them off by saying, you're spreading misinformation. Really, what's the misinformation here? What I would love to know. People don't even understand the words that they use, like never and always. Right? There's like, Democrats have never preached that they support violence. Never? Never means not an ounce. So then you start giving them examples, and it was like, well, yes, some people have. Well, that's not the definition of never. Well, you know what I meant. No, never means zero. What do you mean I understand what you meant? Yes, what you said was never. Never means zero. If I give you one, I've disproven your nonsense. Never means zero. Not kinda and sorta. And always. That's another one of my favorite. You're always saying, really? Always? Well, you know what I mean. No, I don't. Did you mean something other than the word always? Use the word you mean. This is how language gets screwed up. And it's usually the person using it who never understands how to use the English language. Anyway, that's another thing. Colchester is the next town over to us, but we weren't invited. Karen, I don't think that would have mattered. I think if you'd showed up, they would have accepted you there. If you wish to support Ryan Fazio there. But you know what? Be on the lookout. If I had received the invitation earlier, I would have mentioned it to folks and told them where to RSVP. But I got the information on Saturday, and I literally gave a call to Pam, and they invited me, immediately. So I found out on Saturday, and I was there Sunday. So just if there's going to be plenty of events, and hey, don't forget, if you wish to, and I don't know if it may be too far for you, but I would still come out if you wish to. As I said, Ryan Fazio is going to be on the program at the Avon Old Farms Hotel on Friday. And I think we have him scheduled from 4 to 5. Yeah, I'm almost positive. 4 to 5, he'll be there to come and talk to us. He's going to talk about a myriad of things. And I hear he is going to be bearing gifts as well for the Salvation Army. So I hope they're excited about that as well. By the way, I haven't heard from Jim Himes. I called his office, or at least his communications person, over the weekend. They said they would be calling me back. I got nothing. I don't know why they would not respond to me. Do they not know that I'm going to give them hell for that? I will call them and text them as often as I possibly could until they start filing harassment charges. Do not ignore me. Don't ignore me. You are a public servant, Representative. Someone is reaching out to you for a statement, and you're ducking, you're dodging. I'm not understanding the reasoning for that. I understand you went to that friendly little place we know as MSNBC or MS Now, whatever garbage they're calling themselves today, and went over there spreading a whole bunch of lies as usual. But we have some questions for you right here in Connecticut. Yeah, sure, you can go down there and talk on a national stage, but you represent Connecticut. We'd love to hear from you. Now, don't go dodging. You're no chump. You talk a big game. I love these guys who talk a big game. They're on television, and they're the toughest people in the room. This is outlandish. This is wrong. This is absolutely abhorrent. Hey, would you want to come on WTIC for an interview? Well, I'll have to get back to you. I have to talk to my assistant. I've got to check my schedule. MSNBC calls, you guys dive out a window to get in makeup and hair. In a heartbeat. Really? I'm going to be on MSNBC in the middle of the afternoon where 5 people are going to be watching? Sure. Get me there. Can you send a car? That's who these people are. That's exactly who these people are. So, Jim Himes, expect a couple more phone calls. We're going to get an answer. Even if it's a written statement, we just want to know. We have an email address. We're going to send an email. We're going to send some audio sound bites of Representative Himes pretty much clowning himself. There's no such thing as narco-terrorists. No such thing, he says. We'll ask him to clarify that. We'll get to the bottom of it. Is it harassment, though? Is what I'm doing I don't think it's harassment. I think it's just getting a response. I mean, the guy made a statement on television, and I think that he should respond to it. He says there's no such thing as narco-terrorist. And then he demands the release of the video of the September 2nd Coke boat bombing. And then we asked whether or not if he believes that video should be released. Shouldn't the video of J. Allen Jones being murdered According to the coroner, shouldn't that video be released as well? I mean, if we're talking about releasing videos, folks, you guys are being a little selective about transparency. I figured at least I get you people to be a little consistent. But, that's where we are. When we come back, I know we've got headlines. I know Chris Murphy, by the way, the audacity of this bozo. I guess I might as well go into this right now. Chris Murphy was on X. I just got word from the Connecticut Sentinel that he wrote this. And I want you to listen to this, folks. Chris Murphy on Donald Trump's Truth post about the death of Rob Reiner. This is what Chris Murphy wrote. He writes, "He's just lost it, Donald Trump. He's just lost it. Now saying Rob and Michelle Reiner caused their own murder because they didn't support him. So sick." That's what Chris Murphy's saying about Donald Trump. That Donald Trump is saying that Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner caused their own death. And this, to me, proves that Chris Murphy knows no one, and I mean no one, is paying attention to his rhetoric. No one listens to a word that comes out of Chris Murphy's mouth. Why? Because this was Chris Murphy on Sunday.
Because over the last year, President Trump has been engaged in a dizzying campaign to increase violence in this country. He is restoring gun rights to felons and people who have lost their ability to buy guns. He eliminated the White House Office of Gun Violence Protection, and he has stopped funding mental health grants and community anti-gun violence grants that Republicans and Democrats supported in that 2022 bill. So he has been engaged in a pretty deliberate campaign to try to make violence more likely in this country.
That's right. Chris Murphy, who is trying to admonish Donald Trump, saying that he thinks, Donald Trump, that Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner caused their own death, while Sunday suggesting that Donald Trump is responsible for the shooting in Rhode Island at Brown.
And I think you're unfortunately going to see the results of that on the streets of America.
That's a pretty big statement. He's in a campaign to make violence more likely?
Of course.
He's in a campaign to make violence more likely? What a bold statement, Dana Bash asked him.
Of course. I mean, he's knowingly restoring gun rights to dangerous people. He is cutting off grants that have bipartisan support to try to interrupt violence in our cities or to try to get necessary mental health resources to families and children in need. The evidence tells you that when you stop funding mental health, when you stop funding community anti-gun violence programs, when you give gun rights back to dangerous people, you are going to have an increase in violence that is knowable and that is foreseeable.
It is knowable, Chris Murphy says. Hey, this guy's a lunatic. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views, headlines coming up. It's Reese on the Radio.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Staples presents an easy holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
Fa la 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 boo hoo hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 50% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, labels, stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In-store and online expires 12/20. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Stand by in about, I want to say 40 minutes. I'm going to break down this whole Rob Reiner thing so that people can understand this in a more nuanced way. Because people are... The people who are supposed to be the most informed, they keep telling us that they're the most informed. They are not. They're not paying attention. And if they weren't so knee-jerk about certain things, they would dive a little deeper. I did it in 2 minutes. I dove so deep on this in 2 minutes. It was easy. And before I do, I'll do this. I'll take this time to break something down to you. And I don't get it. It's never, ever, I've never been able to pretty much figure it out, but it's happening more and more today than ever before. So I'm going to go to your most basic instincts. The people on the left, I want you to hear me out. I'm just going to throw out a couple of basic things that I know that you know. Because you have shared this with me time after time after time. It is a leftist theme forever, since you were a child. And that is the President of the United States knows things that no one else knows. And then being in that office, they are privy to information that the government will never share with us. Never. Now, you may think that today's government is working actively inside, the deep state, fighting really, really hard to keep that information from the likes of that evil Hitler, Donald Trump. But even that, is untrue. From Pete Hegseth to Kash Patel to Dan Bongino, to Pam Bondi, to Tulsi Gabbard. These folks are digging deep inside of every one of those institutions and finding all the dead bodies and all the dirt. And they're giving that information and that intelligence to the President of the United States, the troll in chief. And he has it all. And he does. And he's going to use it publicly. He's going to go on social media and he's going to share it with his MAGA faithful. You know it. That's the reason why you hate it. Because, again, all these people are going to find out where all the bodies are buried. All the deep, dirty secrets that you don't want in his possession. But he has them. You cannot ever, ever suggest otherwise. It's true. And that's why you hate him even more. Because with all of that information, boy, what damage he could do, huh? So think about it. Donald Trump puts out a Truth Social about the death of Rob Reiner. And he makes some claims in it, which I'll read to you if you haven't read it. I'll read it to you. And no one is paying attention to anything other than what he said about Rob Reiner's character, about Rob Reiner's relationship as it relates to Donald Trump. People are angered by that. And I ask you one simple question. Do you really think Donald Trump doesn't know what he's talking about? Do you really think that Donald Trump doesn't have an inside track? That no intelligence was shared with him? That he's just spitballing? How many times have we, maybe years later, hell, maybe even 5 years later, have come to recognize, Donald Trump may have known all of this stuff. Well, maybe he was right about everything. So I read that statement today, and I knew the outrage was coming. But I looked at it and I said, Donald Trump is a calculated dude. He's a very calculated individual. You may not like what he says or how he says it, and you may think that in some cases he's just being mean and crass, as CNN put it today. Brian Stelter, I think, said something like that. But I'm reading the content. I'm reading it and going, that's an interesting way to look at the murder of Rob Reiner and his wife. But I also read the other stuff. And like I said, having read it and did not get emotional, did not go, oh my goodness, Donald Trump, how could I? Why would I take it personally? Doesn't affect me. Doesn't. It's tragic what happened, but has nothing to do with me. So in not becoming emotional or losing my ish, as a couple of people did, I'm not going to say any names. You may have heard them earlier today. I just read the post, and then I dug. And sure enough, as I looked, turns out Donald Trump was very right. And I'm going to read back to you the words of Rob Reiner and his wife to make that case. So stick around. More news, more views. Top of the hour news, in fact, coming up with John Silva. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 3 o'clock. Hartford temperature 25 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC at 1080 News. Clouds have moved in front of the sun, as it were, and we'll keep that condition for the rest of the afternoon. Breezy and cold today, only in the 20s. Forecast details coming up. The water may be flowing in Waterbury by tonight, but the pain brought by a water main break from last week will go on. The citywide boil water order will remain in place at least until testing comes back Wednesday. Crews have installed an emergency valve to bypass the break. In the meantime, Mayor Paul Pernaruski is asking residents for their patience.
And I would just ask them to be patient. We've been working to find a solution to this as quickly as we could. We have one at this point that I fully believe is going to work.
Waterbury schools will remain closed on Tuesday. The health department says all restaurants should be closed unless they have their own source of water. Distribution sites are still giving out bottled water for drinking. An arrest in the killings of actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. LAPD Chief Jim McDonald.
We have our Robbery Homicide Division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail.
Nick Reiner is 32, the son of Rob and Michelle Reiner. He had a history of addiction and homelessness. A couple were found in their L.A. home Sunday with stab wounds. Brian Walsh has been found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of his wife, Anna. Walsh murdered his wife on New Year's Day in 2023, now faces a sentence of life in prison without parole. Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey relayed the reaction from Anna's sister to the public after the verdict was read.
We did hear from Anna's sister, and her comment was, "Justice has been served."
Anna Welsh's body has never been found. The Australian Prime Minister is vowing new gun control legislation in light of the massacre during a Hanukkah celebration on Bondi Beach that left 15 dead and over 24 wounded. Vanessa Miller was there and briefly lost contact with her 3-year-old daughter, who was not harmed.
I was screaming out, my baby, my baby, my baby is there, my baby Gigi is there, my baby Gigi. Everyone's like, stop screaming, he's going to get us, he's going to hear us, and I don't care, I've got nothing to lose, I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to go.
Manhunt for the shooter at Brown University on Saturday continues. 2 were killed and 9 others injured. CBS's Jared Hill with an update.
What we know at this point is that they're saying there isn't a ton of video evidence in or around the school where this happened, and so that's why they're asking for the public to come forward with anything that they might have that could help figure out who this person is and where they might be. Just yesterday, one of the officials said that they're not sure if this person is in the city of Providence, if they are in the state of Rhode Island, where they are at all.
Day 2 of talks to end the war between Russia and Ukraine.
Territory, of course, how much Ukraine has to cede to Russia, security guarantees, which really means what promises Ukraine's allies, and that includes the United States, will make to defend it if Russia should attack again, and reconstruction, what money will be made available to rebuild Ukraine, and if Russia gets its way, to rebuild Russia too. It's claiming that it needs help, even though it did start the war.
It's correspondent Liz Palmer. WTIC News Time is 3:04. Checking traffic. Most of the roadwork projects have come to an end for the day. Still some leftover work, though, perhaps in Manchester on 384 West between exits 4 and 3. That was a right shoulder project. That should be wrapping up within a matter of minutes. We've got some delays to report on 84 West in the East Hartford area. Congestion westbound between exits 56 and 45, it looks. Volume delays on 91 south into the city out of Windsor between exits 35A and 32. The WTIC Weather Center forecast.
In the wake of the weekend snow, very cold weather covers the area. The cold will continue through tomorrow, but we do see a thaw coming at midweek. For the rest of today, breezy and cold, partly cloudy. High 26, feeling even colder with the wind. Cold tonight, but not as windy, partly cloudy, low 18. Chilly tomorrow, though not quite as cold as today, as sunshine mixing with some clouds at 32, and some cloudy tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday, becoming breezy and not as cold Wednesday afternoon, with a high up to 43. Not as cold on Thursday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 44. Some rain will then likely move into the area Thursday night. That rain will continue through at least Friday morning. Cloudy and windy Friday afternoon, high early Friday in the mid-50s. But temperatures will drop into and through the 40s later Friday afternoon. Much colder Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 23 degrees. Cold weather on Saturday, sunshine, a few clouds at high 35. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Markets continue their downward trend this Monday afternoon. The Dow's down 16, the NASDAQ down 110, and the S&P is off 3 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, folks, we are back. Let's get to some headlines. In a story that I was actually trying to get some details to, but I could not reach the Stamford Police Department, 2 unrelated deaths in Stamford on December 13th were attributed to suspected exposure to freezing temperatures overnight. The victims turned out to be 50-year-old Joanna Beatrice Naves Gonzalez and 52-year-old Francisco J. Diaz Aquino. They were found at a bus stop on East Main Street near Cummings Park, respectively. Police investigations continue with the State Office of the Chief Medical Examiner to confirm the cause. Weather conditions, they believe, played a key role with daytime highs in the mid-30s dropping to the mid-20s. As you may have heard at the top of the hour with John Silva, that we are sitting at 25 degrees now. They said that overnight, some of the wind chills went into single digits. The National Weather Service warned of hazardous conditions for those outdoors without protection. I'm still trying to get some details on the individuals, like whether or not they were just sitting there waiting for the bus. I presume these 2 individuals may have been homeless, and I was trying to get details on that, but I couldn't reach the Stamford Police Department in enough time. I pressed them and I left a message, but I couldn't get any return calls. I'll try them again. In a recent federal policy under the Trump administration, has instilled widespread fear among Connecticut's immigrant community, especially as the holidays near, triggered by a November 26 shooting near the White House involving an Afghan immigrant. The policy holds permanent residency applications from 19 countries, including Haiti. It suspends asylum processes and reviews 233,000 refugees from the Biden era and ends temporary protective status for Haitians. This affects thousands in the state of Connecticut, including 30,000 Haitians leaving many in limbo, as illustrated by a Haitian man's green card application being put on hold despite eligibility. Immigration advocates report increased stress, and some immigrants avoid applications due to detention fears by ICE. According to attorney Dana Bouchon, they criticized the policy for delaying legal immigration, while U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, who was a guest on the show on Friday, called for individual reviews, which I think is what's happening, expressing concern for Afghan allies facing torture if deported. Reports of U.S. citizens being detained without lawyer access highlight enforcement issues, amplifying community anxiety. Connecticut State Police are confronting a severe staffing crisis. Perhaps they should talk to the folks over at Waterbury Police. I'll get into that in some detail in the future. They're confronting a severe staffing crisis. Nearly 175 troopers are eligible for retirement by December of next year. No, sorry, in 2 years, 2027, including 88 who can retire within 2 months. This represents about 20% of the current force of around 950 uniformed troopers, a decline from previous highs and below former statutory minimums. The eligibility concern stems from older retirees from older retirement rules allowing departure after 20 years of service amid broader national challenges in law enforcement recruitment post the 2020 George Floyd incident, which I told you guys was going to happen when the governor openly said that they had to make reforms in the Connecticut police after what happened in the George Floyd case. And I said that was going to affect recruitment. However, I spoke to the chief of the Waterbury Police, and he has applications coming from everywhere across the country. So perhaps they should talk to Waterbury's chief of police, and maybe they can learn how to recruit some folks. Now for the stupidest thing I read today.
Very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
As if Somalia wasn't bad enough. You may have heard the reports about the Somalian immigrants who are stealing what may very well be $8 billion from taxpayers. Well, this story goes right down that alley, but it involves Gaza. In a disturbing twist to the ongoing Gaza conflict, evidence has emerged that Hamas deliberately stockpiled tons of infant formula and nutritional shakes in secret warehouses under its Ministry of Health. This hoarding, revealed by Gaza-born analyst Ahmed Faoud Akhtabib via video footage, was intended to exacerbate the hunger crisis and bolster a narrative of famine blamed on Israel, despite international aid flowing in, including formula that the UN confirmed entered Gaza. Hamas hid supplies to manipulate perceptions and harm its own population. The strategy relied on Western media outlets like, wait for it, NBC and CNN to amplify unverified claims from pro-Hamas sources accusing Israel of blocking essentials. However, only the Telegraph among major outlets covered the hoarding, highlighting a media blind spot. Findings expose how Hamas weaponized scarcity, prioritizing propaganda over civilian welfare during months of reported food shortages. This revelation challenges the narratives of the conflict, illustrating the cynical use of humanitarian aid as a huge of psychological warfare. Wow, I wonder where people. I wonder why people never got privy to that. We've only been talking about it, 20, 30 years? We've been talking about it, the same thing over and over again. That what Hamas is doing in the so-called Ministry of Health, which every one of these bozos cite. Every time you watch them on the news, well, the Palestinian Ministry of Health. Gaza, it's Hamas run. Jeez. Anyway, let's get into this thing, because I want to get it in and out of the way, since we have the time. Donald Trump released a Truth Social post. Here's what it read, if you haven't heard about it. Here's what he said about the death of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Now, people suggested that that was tone deaf. Many people said it was trolling. I say bullcrap. I say bullcrap. People went so far as to say, well, he should have shown some grace. To whom? Rob Reiner? Why? Somebody explain to me why. Oh, because the man just got murdered? Yeah. So good. If that's going to be the barometer, what did Rob Reiner say after Donald Trump had 2 assassination attempts on him? I'll wait. You can get back to me at any time during the show. Hell, I'll give you a week. What did Rob Reiner say or post or do after the assassination attempts on Donald Trump? What did Rob Reiner say before Donald Trump had assassination attempts on him? Oh, no, I'll give you a week. No. Take as much time as you need. Did he condemn anyone trying to kill him? No. Did he admonish anyone? Say, hey, do not take up arms against this autocrat. Whatever you do, I know that Donald Trump is a threat to our very existence as a country, but please do not pick up arms. Did Rob Reiner say any of that? No. After it happened, did he say, oh my goodness, we should not have that kind of political violence at all? No. Did Rob Reiner double down on calling Donald Trump a dictator? Did Rob Reiner refer to Donald Trump as a cockroach? Yes, he did. You know he did. And while you're sitting around on your high horse saying that Donald Trump should behave better, why? Why can't Rob Reiner behave better? Did he? Why couldn't he have? Did he bother to behave better? No, absolutely not. And according to his own wife and Rob Reiner himself, they did not behave better. Their own son, who may very well be the man who killed them both, they admonished him. They ignored him. They even admitted that they did. In one interview, Rob Reiner and his wife say that they never listened to their son. They didn't believe in him as he told them he needed help. They continued to ignore him and said that they were listening to people with degrees. Here's one quote. Nick Reiner told People magazine in 2016 that he had struggled with drug addiction and was homeless in multiple states. He said that he experienced a lot of dark years, but that he had recovered with assistance in rehab. Rob Reiner said that he and his wife regret how they treated their son. Quote, when Nick would tell us that it wasn't working for him, we wouldn't listen. We were desperate, and because the people had diplomas on their wall, we listened to them when we should have been listening to our son. We were influenced by these people, his wife said. They would tell us he's a liar and that he was trying to manipulate us. And we believed them, Michelle Reiner said. They didn't even believe their own son as he talked and communicated with them. We now learn that there was an argument at the home, or at least the party, of Conan O'Brien, comedian, late-night talk show host. That there was a fight that then led to their murders, allegedly. I go back to this line that Donald Trump says in here. He says that sometimes, he was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession with Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights. What did he say there that was a lie? What did he say that was untrue? And while people are focusing on that, they're forgetting Donald Trump says a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle. Reportedly, due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction. Well, there was a fight. Wasn't there? Why was his son so angered by him? I don't hear anybody asking. I've been searching all day. Do we have a motive yet? What would have led their son, the person they were trying to help? Goodness gracious, Rob Reiner made a movie about his relationship with his son. That movie was supposed to have brought them closer together, working together while his son was in rehab. What did he say that was just so off-putting? What, the fact that he said the truth? Did Rob Reiner have an obsession with Donald Trump? Yes, he did. It's undeniable. Asking Donald Trump to say something nice about him after he was putting his money and his prestige behind an effort to go after him in the Russia nonsense? Donald Trump's supposed to be the nice guy now? And now that's the standard bearer? All of a sudden, Donald Trump, the reprobate, is now supposed to be the standard? You guys are expecting Donald Trump to give grace to a guy that gave him none? Even after there were attempts on his life? You people would never. And I don't understand it, the outrage. Donald Trump he has all these Christians around him, and I can't believe that none of them would speak to him and tell him how he should behave. Blow it out your ear. Look, with all due respect, me, on the other hand, I don't care what Donald Trump does. Donald Trump could rip Rob Reiner to the cows come home. It has nothing to do with me. Everybody's talking about, it's like, how they feel emotionally. Get out of your emotions. I don't care what he said about Rob Reiner in a tweet. What he felt about the man for him was justified, and I don't speak to that. That's between him, Rob Reiner, and as far as I'm concerned, Donald Trump's God. That's between them. If what he said turned you off, there's a reason why. Because you, in some way, I guess in your infinite wisdom, thinks you would have behaved better. Prove it. Show me all of the gracious things you said about your enemies. Show me the mea culpa you've made to people who have wronged you. Just one. Try really, really hard. That's all I'm saying. You guys keep forgetting Donald Trump is a man. He said nothing along the lines like the guy deserved to die. Who said that about a man after he was murdered, huh? Do you think Donald Trump went as far as some of the people who were mocking the murder of Charlie Kirk? You think Donald Trump was remotely close to that? No. The people who mocked Charlie Kirk never said anything as a very sad thing happened. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Did anybody say that about Charlie Kirk? No. Listen, seriously, spare me the outrage. Donald Trump had every right, in his view, to say whatever he wanted to. And again, I'm going to afford him the opportunity to say that. If that's what he felt he should say about him. If that turns people off, that's fine. But I can come up with a list of things that should turn people off, and they damn sure don't. They don't even blink. They don't even blink. They are quick to show exactly who they are in a heartbeat. I think that's wrong. Really? How much stuff do you think people are wrong? You think, let's take a couple of local folks, huh? Do you think Bob Duff sees a story about an illegal arrested for raping a child and then says to himself, perhaps I shouldn't promote pornography books in the library? Huh? Do you ever have, he ever have sort of like a come to Jesus moment after that? When another teacher is arrested for fondling? Huh? Do you think, does he ever come to the point where just like, yeah, I made me to back up off that genderqueer book that I'm trying to push into the school's libraries? Never once. Nor is he ever held to account. Never. Not one person in the news media says, hey, do you really think that maybe we shouldn't show pornographic images in the public library for children? Because another kid got molested in a school? No, not one. No one ever thinks about it. But Donald Trump says, rest in peace. Says a very sad thing happens, and you guys are angry at him because he told the truth. Did Rob Reiner have talk about an unrelenting obsession with Donald Trump? The guy's a movie director. He made films like Spinal Tap and When Harry Met Sally. This guy isn't exactly like dripping with political prowess. And he was mainstreamed. This guy was mainstreamed as some sort of know-it-all in the political sphere. He was platformed all over the place. Y'all going to have to do better than that. But you know what? Stand by. We'll take your calls. We'll hear what you have to say. All right? Give me a second, and we'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Do you have a dark curiosity? Heart Starts Pounding, Horrors, Hauntings, and Mysteries is a weekly podcast hosted by me, Kaylin Moore. Each week, I'll take you on a dark journey through terrifying true urban legends, bizarre true crime cases, chilling tales of backwoods horror, and more. So if you're looking to join a passionate community of the darkly curious, check out Heart Starts Pounding on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, stay curious.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Pressure doesn't crush champions, it creates them. On the court, UConn's AZ Fudd, Caroline Ducharme, Morgan Shelley, and Sarah Williams rise to the moment with skill, preparation, and teamwork. At BPS Lawyers, we meet pressure the same way, with confidence, discipline, and results.
Champions win together, on the court and in the courtroom.
One full-service firm, all your legal needs, always. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Visit bpslawyers.com.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Work continues in Waterbury to fix a high-pressure water main break that broke over the weekend. Distribution of bottled water at two centers was suspended earlier. They had another 10 or so truckloads show up, so they'll be out there till 7 o'clock at Municipal Stadium and Crosby High School for those who need water. About 60% of the city still has no water. Those who do are under a boil advisory, which remains in effect. The search for a gunman who opened fire on the campus of Brown University continues. Officials say a person detained as a person of interest has since been released. 2 people were killed and 9 others wounded in that shooting on Saturday. The son of Rob and Michelle Reiner has been arrested for the stabbing deaths of his parents. The couple were found in their Brentwood, California home on Sunday. Nick Reiner is being charged with their murders and being held on $4 million bond. Federal authorities have announced the arrests of 4 alleged members of an extremist group suspected of coordinating or planning to coordinate bombing attacks in Southern California. The arrests took place last week in the desert east of L.A. According to a federal criminal complaint, the suspects were preparing to test improvised explosive devices for planned bombings. Tens of thousands of Connecticut residents will see their medical debt wiped out. Letters are going out to 40,000. It's the third round of medical debt erasure initiative program. 168,000 have had their debt eliminated since the program began last year. And a woman killed in a crash on Routes 5 and 15 in Wethersfield over the weekend has been identified. State troopers say 30-year-old Wendy Lara of Manchester collided head-on with another vehicle on Saturday. That investigation is ongoing. WTIC News time is 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Partly cloudy the rest of this afternoon, breezy and cold, high 26. Feeling even colder with the wind. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, low 18. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 32. And some cloudiness tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday and breezy. Not as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 43. Thursday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 44. Some rain is then likely Thursday night into Friday. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 27, NASDAQ down 135, and the S&P is off 11 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
We know that you want the best for your child. That's why you can trust our expert pediatric dentists here at Columbia Dental, who are trained to meet and handle your child's unique dental needs. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
This holiday season, when you get them steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you and your partner are struggling because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. In Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. And as a Prometic restorative health practice, we've literally seen thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season, a renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. That's northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Prometic restorative health practice.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
Slow, clogged, backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
You'll get more than you expect with McValue at McDonald's. So when you've spent too much on a night out, get deals on the after party. When you've got date night, get deals on favorites that'll make you their favorite. And when you've got family for the weekend, we've got breakfast.
It only takes $5 to fire up the flavor with the hot and spicy McChicken in the $5 meal deal. Or $6 to savor a McDouble in the $6 meal deal. Price and participation may vary. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Big box retailers are increasingly leaning on AI to drive up sales, with Target and Walmart now partnering with OpenAI to allow consumers to purchase items directly through ChatGPT. Target says shoppers can type a prompt like "help me plan a movie night" and ChatGPT will fill the cart, while Walmart says until now online shopping only consisted of a search bar and a long list of item responses. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/now. That's ethos.com/now.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Hey, it's Steve Parker giving a salute to the broadcaster at 100. Happy birthday, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, we're back. Reese on the radio. Taking your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Let's take Tony first in Rocky Hill. How are we doing, Tony?
All right. Well, I just tuned in for a few minutes. But what's all the excitement about Reiner's passing? I mean, it's a family matter. I don't know. Why all the dramatics?
What are you talking about?
I mean, the screaming and saying, about it, what Trump said and everything else. What Trump said was crazy. I mean, I'm a Trump fan, but I'm getting worried about him.
What's crazy about what Trump said?
His behavior is getting emotional, so crazy.
Specificity works here, sir. What's crazy about what he said?
What do
you mean, no? Wait. I say be specific, and you say no?
I look at great leaders like Reagan, Kennedy, FDR, Teddy Roosevelt.
Again, I'm going to try one more time.
They never had to pat themselves
Specificity counts. What did he say was
excited?
What did he say that was so crazy?
The guy was murdered in his home, for crying out loud.
Yeah, we're aware of that. So what did he say that was so crazy?
Well, why are you getting so riled up?
No, don't change the subject. You called it. You said what he said was just crazy. So tell me what he said that was just crazy. You should know. Have you read the statement?
Is your response?
No, my response is my response, but you haven't answered my question. What was so crazy about what Donald Trump?
The weather or something?
Yeah, we did that. What's so crazy about his response, Tony?
I mean, his hatred for people like Mr. Reiner and so forth.
He showed hatred?
Mr. Reiner didn't like him. I don't like Trump sometimes either, but I would still vote for him.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out what your point is.
I'm trying to figure out what your point is.
Oh, my point is that I'm doing a show, Tony, and it's obvious that you're not a fan.
Well, no. But can I? Okay, I got to go because my hemorrhoid's starting to bleed again.
Oh, well, then time to go then. You go take care of that, homie. Don't want to interrupt that. Hey, what's going on, Bob? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm all right. What's up?
Hey, Rob Reiner, all right? I really applaud you for digging in and realizing that the guy really is a slam dog. I have firsthand experience way back a long time ago. I don't even remember the name of the movie. I think it was like Water Like Chocolate or some stupid name.
Okay.
I invested. I was young and dumb, invested in a movie that he was producing, and later on I found out that he's done this before. He takes young and dumb morons like me at the time and steals their money and gives them nothing in return.
Was he a producer? Was he a producer in the film Like Water for Chocolate? Is that what the movie you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, because that was the one, if I'm right, that was the one with Johnny Depp, right?
I don't even remember who was in it. This was back in the 80s.
Yeah. I think I remember that film.
You know, it's sad, but people do this. I invested in a golf course in Florida. 17% of my money and $1 a round. Guess what? They go bankrupt, and it was a bridge loan. They go bankrupt, and they start up a whole nother system.
Wow.
Your money.
Look, again,
people do that all. White-collar crime pays.
Yeah, like I said, Rob Reiner, it is tragic, of course. I mean, I just saw a story today. I don't know what that is. Are you backing up? I gotta go. There's another story about is it a Grammy-nominated singer, Roland? I don't know if you saw this story. Apparently, some Grammy-nominated preacher or something like that. His son just killed him too over the weekend. There's some story in there. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, I saw it on X earlier today. That's to me that is a wild domestic situation. That a confrontation with your son leads to your death. Your son is so zonked out, whatever reason it may be, but so angry. No one is going to talk about what the motive is until it is all sort of died down. Because there's a lot of speculation. They're saying they got into this fight at Conan O'Brien's party and saying that that may have been what led to the murders. We don't know yet, but the motive is going to come out. And, I know it's always happens. People are going to find out, and they're going to be like, oh, man, it always happens. It just does. And I promise you it's going to be one of those things where it'll be like, wow, I know. Because you have to ask yourself, like, what would lead to something like that? And everybody's saying, oh, he's got an addiction problem. That doesn't, as his mother said in that People magazine article, saying that they didn't listen to him, they listened to the experts because they had degrees on the wall. Right? Those people were telling his parents, don't believe your own child. He's a liar. They chose the experts over their loving son. And they openly admitted that. Which, again, does that create some sort of doubt or some sort of relationship rift? I'm sure it does. Let me tell you why I bring this up. I'll never forget this. Because in the limited exchanges that I had with my son Caleb, who lived with me in Boston back in 2008, I told you the story about how he was hanging out with his friends and he was sitting around on his phone. I guess he was doing something, but he was on his phone. But the friends that he was with, that I introduced him to because I was cool with their parent, they were hanging out at this abandoned building and the kids were throwing rocks at the abandoned building windows. And they were breaking the windows. Anyway, police rounded them all up. Didn't put anybody in a jail cell. They just held them there and called everybody's parents. Boston police couldn't be happier that they didn't traumatize my son by putting him in a jail cell and treating him like a criminal. Because they could have. But they saw that he was sitting down when they caught the kids doing what they were doing. But they hauled them all in, down to the precinct, sat him down, and waited for everybody's parents to be called. I got called. Michelle, who was the parents of the other kids, I said, yes, you can release my son into her custody. We'll come and pick him up later. So we do. We go down there, we get the boy, and we go out to dinner afterwards to talk. Hey, what happened? What's the deal? Well, my son sat there and screamed at me for taking the police's side. I said, what are you talking about? I think they treated me in a racist way. How? Well, they just hauled me in thinking that I was a part of it, and I wasn't. I was sitting down. When they arrived, they saw me sitting down. I was like, okay, tell me how they treated you like you were a part of it. Well, they hauled us all into the police precinct. Yeah, did they put you behind a jail cell? No. Explain to me what you're talking about. And he was angry at me that I wouldn't take his side, that I was being reasonable. I was just saying, look, I get that the police dragged you down there. They believed that you kids were up to no good. They may have lumped you all. They may have treated you all the same. in essence saying, hey, kids, you bunch of rabble-rousers. You're a bunch of delinquents. But nobody handcuffed you. No one put you in a jail cell. They made you sit down at the front desk until your parents were called. What is so racist about this? And because I wouldn't understand, he was livid at the restaurant, raising his voice and everything, arguing with me in a restaurant, public place. And I couldn't fathom me. I'm just trying to listen, I get what you're saying. It's not that I'm dismissing that you think what they did was racist, but I'm trying to explain to you that there's no logic to support that. It isn't to say that I don't believe you. It's that you have got to explain to me further than what you're telling me already, because I'm not hearing it. But it was a really challenging moment for me that I felt like I was, and I know my son felt like it, he felt like I wasn't believing in him. That he saw the world a particular way, he had a chip on his shoulder, and I needed to, affirm that. It wasn't even that I refused to. I wasn't even being adversarial. I was just trying to get to the bottom of it. But I understand how it affected him. It made him angry. So now I look at these two. Your son. That it gets to the point where you have an argument at a Christmas party that ends in the slitting of your throat? And nobody's asking any questions beyond that. Like what could have... Everyone's talking about drug addiction. Something else. Forgive me, but it's got to be. Let me go to Jim in Wellington real quick before we go to break. How you doing, Jim?
I'll tell you what, I don't even know how to start my comment, so I'm going to start it this way. If I said, geez, my prayers are with that family, whatever relatives may be left, the daughter, I think,
yeah,
and whoever.
And another son, yeah.
The next thing that's going to happen is that anybody who associates me to the right in any way, shape, or form, and it doesn't even have to be concerning Trump.
Right.
They're going to take that as an absolute insult. How dare you even offer prayers or hopes of something better?
Right on point, Jim. Right on point.
Immediately. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to mention Rob Reiner. Nobody deserves to be murdered.
Exactly.
And obviously their son had a mental imbalance to have that type of crime. That's a highly personal crime.
Indeed.
Based on, all right? And I haven't read Trump's remarks, but Donald Trump could have come down from heaven and said those remarks, and nobody was ever going to give him a break. They would have called him Lucifer or whoever. And it's not just Trump. It's anybody that voted for him. It's anybody on the right that supports his policies. We can go on and on. And the difference is, I'll end with this. The difference is really simple. I can understand the humanity of a man, of somebody being murdered, of a woman and a father and a mother being murdered, of Reiner and his wife being murdered. I can understand. I can have empathy for those people. It doesn't make any difference what my politics are or my opinions on anything else. But if I exercise that same opinion and you associate me to the right, I am the worst thing walking.
Exactly. You're 100% right, Jim. Thank you for that, man. I got to take a break, but you are right on point with that, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
You got it. Perfect ending. We'll take a few more phone calls. Stand by. We'll get to those in a second. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up, just what I needed, real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
pain.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oh, okay. So the movie is Chocolat. Thank you so much, Lori. Got to give it to Lori. She says, to Reiner's credit, he directed a lot of great movies, not the least of which The Princess Bride, which is still one of my favorite and top five films of all time. I'm a huge, huge fan of that movie. Look, and I've said this a billion times over. I tell that story all the time. I'm at the Wegmans in Northern Virginia, and these people are talking about going down to Trump's vineyard. And this one woman who said, this is back in 2016, she was like, oh, in my right mind, I just couldn't go down and patronize one of Trump's vineyards. And I said, I can't stand Gwyneth Paltrow. But I love her character, Pepper Potts, in those Iron Man movies. I still go. She's one of my favorite characters in the film. I can separate the two. Her job is to be an actor or an actress. And in those films, I actually like her. She's kind of funny. I can totally separate the two. But some people just can't. Anyway, Trump made Reiner's murder about Trump derangement syndrome. How so? Did he make his murder? How does he make? This is, again, I don't understand. This is where I get lost. Okay, Trump made Reiner's murder about Trump derangement syndrome. How? Trump can't make Reiner's murder about anything. Reiner's murder is about his son. That's it. Trump can't make anything. He has no power to change a thing. It's the focus on it that I'm pointing out. Is it that Donald Trump? So what? Somebody also wrote to me, research what Rob Reiner said about the murder of Charlie Kirk. What, a week ago? Charlie Kirk is not here to talk about Rob Reiner's murder. And at least to suggest that because what Rob Reiner said about Charlie Kirk, but yet made no mention of the assassination attempts on Donald Trump in that interview, did he? Did he? Is that making news anywhere? No. When he was asked about the murder of Charlie Kirk, Rob Reiner never said anything about Donald Trump. In fact, there's no footprint anywhere of Rob Reiner talking about Donald Trump's attempted assassinations. Nowhere. I looked. Did you? No, he continued to call the president a cockroach, a threat to our democracy. He continued to exacerbate the things that led to the assassination attempts. And again, I'm still trying to figure out, like, Trump was supposed to deal with that with what? With grace? He had absolutely no interest in toning down the rhetoric when someone's life was at stake. The man was shot at. 2 people tried to kill him. Rob Reiner never said a word. And now everybody's asking for... Again, Rob Reiner had a comment to make about Donald Trump every day since 2016. Every day. Assassination attempt, mum's the word. Donald Trump makes a comment, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, I can't believe Donald Trump made... Come on, man. Just stop it. I can't even take you people seriously anymore. I can't. It's embarrassing. It's like the fact that I have to explain this to you. And this is a perfect example of the fact that, again, like a bunch of stenographers, having your ideas and your points of view being spoon-fed to you. It's, again, I don't understand it. I looked at that, I read that Truth Social post, and I just went, yeah, this will make them. I knew exactly what the reaction was going to be, even from people on the right. Like clockwork, predictable. Because they can't help themselves. There's nothing original in them at all. Not 1 ounce of originalism in a bit of them. It's funny. That's all I can say. Let's get to traffic and weather. Tom O'Hanlon, he's filling in for Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. On 84 westbound, we're busy. Exit 56 to 45. Once you're through downtown Hartford, you still have the brake lights over to Sigourney Street, and then it's stop and go. On the eastbound side of 84, we're slowing down. Exit 44 to 51. Route 2 is seeing more traffic westbound going up into 84, but it isn't bad yet. Route 3 is okay. 91 southbound does have stop and go from North Meadows down into 84. And northbound 91, we're okay up into 291. 291 is moving. Delays in Windsor on 91 southbound from exit 35A to 32, and in New Haven, 95 southbound is slow, exit 47 to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
In the wake of the weekend snow, very cold weather covers the area. The cold will continue through tomorrow, but we do see a thaw coming at midweek. For the rest of today, breezy and cold, partly cloudy. I-26 feeling even colder with the wind. Cold tonight, but not as windy. Partly cloudy, low 18. Chilly tomorrow, though not quite as cold as today. As sunshine mixing with some clouds at 32, and some clouds tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday, becoming breezy and not as cold Wednesday afternoon with a high up to 43. Not as cold on Thursday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 44. Some rain will then likely move into the area Thursday night. That rain will continue through at least Friday morning. Cloudy and windy Friday afternoon. High early Friday in the mid-50s, but temperatures will drop into and through the 40s later Friday afternoon. Much colder Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 23 degrees. Cold weather on Saturday, sunshine, a few clouds at high 35. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock in afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Police in Providence have released new video of a person of interest in Saturday's deadly Brown University shooting. A previous person of interest was questioned and released. 2 people were killed in that incident.
The wind was taken out of the investigative sales because they had actually apprehended someone based on cell phone pings. They arrested someone in a nearby hotel at 3:45 a.m. on Sunday morning. Hours later, after hours of questioning, they realized that was not the right person. That person's been released. Correspondent Anna Schechter. New details on the killings of film director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. The couple's son Nick is in custody. LAPD Chief Jim McDonald.
He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail. Pretty much that's what I can share at this point, but again, a very, very tragic incident.
More from correspondent Gwen Baumgardner.
Rob Reiner, son of late comedic great Carl Reiner, initially gained fame playing Archie Bunker's son-in-law, Meathead, on CBS's All in the Family. He went on to direct dozens of iconic films, including This Is Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride, and When Harry Met Sally.
After last week's major water main break, 40% of Waterbury has water, but it must be boiled before drinking. 60% of the city has no water at all. Mayor's office says service could be restored by tonight, but the city boil water advisory will remain in place until at least Wednesday. That's when the earliest test results could come back. City Water Superintendent Brad Millay said everything had to be shut off after the major burst on Friday.
When the real break on the high pressure main happened, we shut everything down. There was no alternative to shutting everything down. We were going to destroy the homes and businesses, roadways. Everything was going to be destroyed if we didn't shut everything down.
Crews have installed an emergency valve to bypass the break. Schools in Waterbury will remain closed on Tuesday. A Connecticut State Police trooper is under arrest following an incident on Halloween night where he crashed his vehicle. 24-year-old Jacob Dressler is charged with OUI and carrying a firearm while intoxicated. He was involved in a one-vehicle crash off-duty on Flanders Road around 10:30 that night. Southington police say he struck a pair of mailboxes and a fire hydrant. Dressler is free on $25,000 bond and is due in court December 29th. In Australia, officials are vowing tougher gun control laws. This after a mass shooting at a Hanukkah celebration left 15 dead and others wounded.
People are obviously grieving. They are also angry. We've spoken to a number of residents here who say these acts of violence do not happen in Australia. And they blame the government for not doing enough to stamp out anti-Semitism, which is on the rise in this country.
That's correspondent Anna Corrin. And 4 alleged members of an extremist group tied to a planned bombing attack in Southern California are now in custody. More from correspondent Jim Krasula.
The 4 were taken into custody in a desert valley east of Los Angeles last week. Investigators say they were preparing to test improvised explosive devices for planned bombings. They are said to be members of an offshoot of a pro-Palestinian group. The 4 allegedly plotted to set off a series of bombings on New Year's Eve and target ICE agents and vehicles.
Wall Street, the Dow down 41, NASDAQ down 137, S&P off 10 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Valley Wines has everything you need to make your celebrations unforgettable. Looking for the perfect gift? Their experts are ready to help. Visit Valley Wines in Farmington or shop online for delivery at ValleyWinesCT.com, where every bottle brings a little more cheer. Valley Wines, your holiday destination for great taste.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Here at ALO, we believe hearing solutions to your main drain problems shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free mainline drain camera inspections and free estimates on sewer line repair or replacement. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO when you call, click, or text today and say, hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, first half of the show is done. Don't forget to download the Odyssey app or go to WTIC.com so you can check out the part of the program that you missed. More on that later. You know what? Let me do this thing first because we have to do this first.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds, between rounds.
Let's congratulate Dan H. in Windsor Locks. He is today's winner of a dozen bagels a month. For 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. By the way, that announcement is coming soon about the live broadcast from Between Rounds and which location will be. I'm almost certain we have one, and we definitely have a date. So we will let you know in due course. We'll wait until probably after, well, maybe after the new year, we'll let everybody know. so you can schedule it. So hopefully you'll come and join us. I want to say this because, again, just to show you that people are spoon-fed their information and repeat it like they're reading from, it's like stenographers and parrots. Is it parrots or parakeets? I think it's parakeets, whatever. Just to make sure that I read it correctly. So Cicero in the chat room says, my point is that Trump made a statement attributing Reiner's death to Trump derangement syndrome. Obviously, this is false. Actually, so is that statement. Here's what he said, and it's because people cannot read English, or they refuse to. I'm not a reader as well. I hate reading. But when I have to, I will read every detail. So let's make sure we get it right. Together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with the mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. Okay? So get the line right. Anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. He's saying that through his TDS, he was angry all the time. That because of his anger for Trump and his Trump derangement syndrome, that he affected everyone through that anger, through that lens. That was where he was getting all of his unrelenting angst from. Not Trump derangement, his anger because he has. He caused people anger. Not that Trump derangement syndrome led to. If that were the case, he would be accusing his son of Trump derangement syndrome. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what Donald Trump's saying here. Is that he wasn't focused. That's all. That's all. You don't have to like it. Just is. Just stop repeating the nonsense you watch on television. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Tom O'Hanlon, he's in for Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. On 84 westbound, the traffic continues to build from Route 2 over to and across the river into Hartford. And on the eastbound side of the 84, plenty of traffic going up through Parkville and also working your way closer to the downtown area of Hartford. If you're up and down 91, up you're good. On the southbound side, though, we're looking at traffic through North Meadows and then more of it as you get down near 84. On Route 3, we're in pretty good shape. Wilbur Cross is moving along decently. And as far as things go in 91, if you're heading down to New Haven, not too bad. We are just looking at that one delay in Windsor on the southbound side between exit 35A and 32. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries to find out.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
WTIC weather.
Cold the rest of the day. A mix of clouds and sun. High just 26. Feeling colder with that wind. Cold tonight, but not as windy. Partly cloudy, low 18. Sunshine giving way to some clouds tomorrow. Will stay chilly, high 32. And some cloudiness tomorrow, high low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday. It can be breezy and not as cold. Wednesday's high reaching 43. Right out is 25 degrees at Bristol. It's 24 in East Hartford and 25 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-664-1204. 800-664-1204. That's 800-664-1204.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Reese on the Radio is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Reese on the Radio, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know what happens when you are a one-man show? You got to check every text message, every email. You got to check all this stuff. It's insane. My work is never done. I'm over here responding to comments in Facebook and in the chat room and this place and that place. Anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about this, and I'll get to a couple of phone calls that have been on hold for a little bit. There's, again, because I know the outrage is, what else are we going to talk about other than Donald Trump saying something that people are offended by? Okay. There's this notion that people think that Donald Trump is always punching down. And that is an interesting point of view. Because what that's about is censorship. You know, saying that he's the big bad bully. That everyone, it's only supposed to be one direction. Right? He has got to take it all the time. This is because of George W. Bush. George W. Bush refused to push back. He told his staff never to push back on the media, who had called him everything in the book. From a dummy, a C average student. Well, he was. But nonetheless, but they called him everything. Curious George. Anyone remember that? Huh? He was being accused of being a monkey before it was popular. It was always the case, right? Making fun of his speech. Even about his faith. Saying that Jesus Christ gave him a phone call and said, please, can you not, maybe not reference me so much? Yeah, remember that? Yes. He was mocked often, and he never pushed back. He waited until he wrote a book, Decision Points, to actually address half the stuff that was said about him. Being called a racist, a dummy, all of it. You know, who was really running the White House? But they called that stately. I say that's nonsense. You're the leader of the free world. Every day you are on the world stage as the president of the United States. And as everybody else is saying anything and everything about you, that picks up on the world stage. Do you hear what they say about the president? Oh, the people of America, they ridicule him. They mock him. He never says anything. He must be weak. We can try him. No. Donald said, I take no guff. I take, as we used to say in the hoods, I take no shorts. Everybody gets it. You want to punch up? Good. I'll punch down. And he does. But it's not like it's never been done. Henry Louis Gates, remember? Crawling his Lilliputious behind into his own house. A woman next door to his home sees someone climbing into a window and thinks that Henry Louis Gates is being robbed. She calls the police, and the police arrive. And they say to Henry Louis Gates, Skip, as he's referred to by his friends, sir, we understand that this is your home, but can you provide us with just some ID? We'll be happy to go on our way. What did Skip Gates, the scholar at Harvard University, what did he say to those police officers at Cambridge? Do awful things to your mother. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He said to the Cambridge police officer. Then when Barack Obama was asked about it at a press conference, he didn't have to opine about it. In fact, he knew nothing about the case, but he damn sure had an opinion about the Cambridge police, even as he admitted he knew nothing about it. Don't take my words for it. Take the Messiah's.
I don't know, not having been there and not seeing all the facts, what role race played in that. But I think it's fair to say, number one, any of us would be pretty angry. Number two, that the Cambridge police acted stupidly.
But wait a minute, Hussein. You said you know nothing about the case. Did I hear you wrong?
I don't know, not having been there and not seeing all the facts.
But he had no problem saying that the police acted stupidly. That began the sort of the dismissive nature of our police, our law enforcement, who were just there to go say, hey, Mr. Gates, just show us your ID. All right, we'll go on about our way. I'm sorry, do what to my mother? Okay, sir, we're bringing you downtown. That's what happened. That's the deal. That's what happens. Trump comes off as sophomoric. Okay. That's what Larry writes. He said it's not about pushing back. It's about personally attacking members of the Fourth Estate for doing their jobs. Are they doing their jobs well, Larry? Are they telling the truth, Larry? Are they not supposed to be pushed back on? They are. You're right. They are the Fourth Estate, which means what? That they have some sort of like immunity? That they're not to be challenged even by the President of the United States? I'm still trying to figure that out. Because they're the press, so they're just allowed to just say anything and do anything. They can write anything. They're here to inform the rest of us. When they misquote individuals, write lies, stories that are with so-called sources that don't exist, that turn out to be absolutely false. I mean, flat out lies. The Fourth Estate, what does that mean? What does that even mean today? You seem to be giving them an incredible amount of leverage. So what, they're the Fourth Estate? And that's my response to it. Oh, he goes out against the Fourth Estate. So what? I don't care what he says about the news. He does the thing that you're not doing. When you catch the news in a lie, what do? Do you turn the channel? No. You go right back there. You forgive them for the abuse. Well, yeah, I know they told us to put on a mask. I know they kept my kids out of school. Yeah, I know that they made us, they forced us to get passports to go to dinner. Yeah, I know that they mocked us and maligned us if we didn't get a vaccination. Yeah, I know they said that we were worth dying but all's forgiven now. Sure, they turned the American people against one another. Sure, they told us that Michael Brown had his hands up and said, don't shoot. Sure, they can lie to us all day. How dare the president call them out for it? And you sit up here and you look at me and you go, well, I can't believe he attacks the Fourth Estate. Because you won't. Because you won't. You're sitting up here, and if you think about it, Larry, you're playing interference for them. Not even acknowledging when they lie to you, not to me, not to everybody, to you. You don't even care. So with all due respect, and I'll say this to you, Larry, this is the best way to put it to you, buddy. If you don't care that they lie to you, go on about your business. Suck up every bit of the lies and misinformation that they can possibly give you. Have them spoon-feed it to you every day, but leave the rest of us alone while we applaud the president for calling them out. We really don't care that you don't like it. We really don't. I really don't. Let me see. Reese, read Trump's statement again. I think Cicero got it right. Trump makes everything about himself. So? Every time Trump does something wrong, you make it about yourselves. Aren't you making this about you? Whatever Trump says, it's an offense to you. Trump says this, Trump says that. It's an offense to you. Your position on Donald Trump is about you. You would never vote for him. You don't support him. You don't like anything that he's doing, but yet you seem to be making this conversation about how you feel. So while you make it about you, you sit up here and say that Donald Trump makes it all about himself. Okay. But the interesting part is this, and I know that you may not be, savvy enough to figure this out. But what Donald Trump does on Truth Social or X or any other social media for that matter has nothing to do with actually what he does in his job. Because what he does at his job is about the American people, which you don't seem to have any commentary about. I don't see you here in my chat room. I don't see you here calling up the network talking about what it is you don't like about what he's doing. And by the way, if you're so affected by policy positions, where are you where policies are actually affecting you? Where are you on rising taxes in your state? If you're here in Connecticut, are you as critical about Ned Lamont? Were you as critical as Ned Lamont when he just brushed off DCF? Being at the helm of another scandal where another kid's dead? Nope. You seem to be more concerned about a Truth Social post. That's the reason why I'm addressing it, is because it's nonsense. That's the whole purpose of this. The president is always punching down. So what? And if he's always punching down, and this goes back to my earlier statement, always punching down. You hear that word, always. Really? Tell me there's never a time when he's not punching down. Ever. Interesting. What's up, Ralph? How are you?
Hanging in there. I'm down here in, I think they call it South Carolina. I think they call it global warming. It was 24 this morning.
Al Roker called it global warming on the Today Show today. And he was like, I know a lot of people are asking about it's bitterly cold, and what about global warming? Well, I'll explain it to you. I'm like, yeah, sure, Al, go ahead.
Yeah, a little chilly. Reason I call Reese, first of all, on the Providence shootings.
Yeah.
There was a young man who actually saw the shooter face to face.
I heard about that.
Right. So now I'm guessing this person of interest that they had, young man said that's not him.
Right.
Who it was.
And apparently, I just saw something earlier. I saw an X post earlier that they do have another person in custody based upon video surveillance, because Brown was getting pretty much ripped up to shreds that they don't have any video surveillance around the campus, or at least not sufficient video surveillance around the campus, which again boggles my mind. Like, what?
The reason I call Reese is, why do these people hate Jewish people? I know a lot of Jewish people. My nephew, his father was Jewish. He served in the Navy for 6 years as a RIO. He was an FBI agent for 23 years. Why do people hate him? I mean, these are people you don't know. They could be the nicest people in the world, and these people want them dead.
Because they see them as a threat, and they see them look, I'll put it to you this way. This is probably the best way to describe it, right? So you call them Zionists, right? And that's the first demonization. That's how that works. You call them Zionists. And then in doing that, right, when you dehumanize them, then that justifies how you treat them. That's the whole grift. It's to dehumanize them, so therefore people will only look the other way when you kill them. That's how the whole thing operates. It's as simple as that.
It's ludicrous, and I'm sorry. You don't hate people just to hate people. I mean, to me, that's just, you're the lowest life form on this planet, except for Murphy, your buddy Murphy. But one other thing I'd like to bring up, if I may, quickly.
Yeah.
Watching TV, when they had the Secretary of Homeland Security, and they had inadvertently, I guess, they had grabbed a South Korean who served in the Navy, and they were going to deport him. And apparently they were screaming and yelling, the Democrats, and they weren't really telling the truth about this guy. There were other issues involved.
Yeah.
But I think what bothered me, Reese, most of all is they are yelling at her. Now, they got hundreds of thousands of people they're deporting. They're going to make mistakes somewhere along the line. I mean, that's just a fact of life.
I will grant them any mistake that they make because, again, I like the way Greg Gutfeld put it. It's like, you create the problem and then have the audacity to argue about how we remedy it. Like, you broke it and now you're upset at how we fix it. And, there are going to be missteps, but we didn't create the problem. You did. And you haven't taken any responsibility for the problem you caused anyway, right? They were all down telling everybody, "Oh no, the border's secure." And then they found out that it wasn't, and now they secured the border, and now they're going, "Well, we don't like the way that you're fixing the problem that we created." And I would just look at them and just go, "You know what? We're going to need you to shut up." And that's the way I would respond.
Remember the Bible, if you're religious, when Jesus said, "Let him who is without sin cast the first stone." Remember that?
Yeah, but these people are sans religion on that, Ralph. That's the whole deal.
All those Democrats, Reese, they all would have reached down and grabbed the stone.
Indeed.
Because they think they are, they don't make.
Their poop don't stink. That's all. Thank you, Ralph.
Got it right. Kid.
Thank you, man. All right, we got to take another break. We got to get to the weather and traffic on the 8s. Mark Christopher's out, so we got Tom O'Hanlon filling in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 westbound's getting busier right around exit 56 to 45 in East Hartford. That's where most of the traffic is. And then once you're through downtown Hartford, you do have the brake lights over to Sigourney Street, and then it's stop and go. In West Hartford, 84 eastbound is slowing down. Exit 44 to 51, it's just traffic. And Route 2 westbound up into 84, it's still pretty good, but it will be picking up shortly. On Route 3, we're in good shape. 91 southbound, we have stop and go from North Meadows to 84. Northbound 91's okay up into 291, and 291 looks good. In Windsor, we've had some delays on the southbound side, exit 35A to 32, and in New Haven, slowing down on 95 southbound from exit 47 to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
In the wake of the weekend snow, very cold weather covers the area. The cold will continue through tomorrow, but we do see a thaw coming at midweek. For the rest of today, breezy and cold, partly cloudy. I-26 feeling even colder with the wind. Cold tonight, but not as windy, partly cloudy, low 18. Chilly tomorrow, though not quite as cold as today, as sunshine mixing with some clouds at 32 and some clouds tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday, becoming breezy and not as cold Wednesday afternoon with a high up to 43. Not as cold on Thursday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 44. Some rain will then likely move into the area Thursday night. That rain will continue through at least Friday morning. Cloudy and windy Friday afternoon. High early Friday in the mid-50s, but temperatures will drop into and through the 40s later Friday afternoon. Much colder Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 23 degrees. Cold weather on Saturday, sunshine, a few clouds at high 35. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Work continues to repair a water main in Waterbury that has left the majority of the city without service, 60%. They put in an emergency valve overnight to bypass the break, but they still have to test the water to make sure it's drinkable. Results, however, might not be in before Wednesday. As they work to fix that break, the city was handing out bottled water at 2 distribution sites. They had to postpone that, though, this afternoon when they ran out. School is also postponed in Waterbury tomorrow as well. Arrest in the murders of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. The Reiner's 32-year-old son, Nick, is charged. The couple were found in their L.A. home on Sunday with stab wounds. Nick Reiner is being held on the murder charge, bond set at $4 million. Connecticut State Police troopers facing OUI and other charges stemming from a crash on Halloween night in Southington. Police there say 24-year-old Jacob Dreschler was driving while intoxicated and carrying a firearm when he ran his car into a pair of mailboxes and a fire hydrant. He was off duty at the time. Dreschler is free on bond, due in court later this month. The name of a woman killed in a crash over the weekend on Routes 5 and 15 in Wethersfield has been released. State police say Wendy Lara's vehicle hit another head-on late Saturday night. The others in that second vehicle sustained minor injuries. Police in Providence set to hold another news conference in about a half an hour, an update on the shooting over the weekend on campus that left 2 people dead and 9 others injured. They've also released another video of a person of interest. A person of interest who was picked up over the weekend has since been released. And the Jets are taking a page out of the Giants' playbook when it comes to firing coaches in season. Gang Green canned its defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes today. This on the heels of that embarrassing blowout at the hands of the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. The New York NFL teams have been collectively awful this season, managing a mere 5 wins between them. On Wall Street, the Dow down 41 points today. The NASDAQ shed 137, and the S&P was down 10 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Staples presents an easy holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
Fa la 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 boo hoo hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 50% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, labels, stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In-store and online expires 12/20. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I can't believe we still don't have a motive in all of this. As all of this is going on. I mean, he's arrested. We got $4 million bail. Still no motive released. We're, of course, talking about the murders of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, over the weekend. Something will come out. I'm sure it'll be tragic if it isn't already. When we come back from this break, we'll talk about this whole Brown shooting. And the shootings over the weekend, of course, also in Australia. And it weirdly, I guess unfortunately, it took away from a lot of the focus that should have gone towards Sandy Hook. And most people can understand with both of those incidents that it would overshadow Sandy Hook. I mean, that it makes sense, but there were many people who were trying to commemorate the lives lost on that day. And it was just overshadowed. And it didn't help that certain individuals, you know who we're talking about, I'm not even going to mention names, would not put a lot of focus where it belonged in that regard. But we'll talk about that. Let me get Frankie real quick before we go to break. How are you, sir?
Yeah, there are a few things. Number one, I'll talk about Friday first quickly. Two important things were said. The Federal Reserve, they didn't use the word quantitative easing. In other words, they're back to printing money. And
right.
When you print money, it devalues the dollar. The answer is gold. Second, this is very important, maybe the most important thing you will hear on the station this year. J.P. Morgan, they've been shorting gold for decades, manipulating it, illegally paying $1 billion in fines.
Okay.
Last month, they sold out of this short position, bought $22 billion worth of silver at $60 an ounce. They believe silver is going to go to a historic ratio to gold. What is that ratio? 15-1. They're predicting silver to go to about 300. Get a truck and back it up and start buying silver before it's too late, because then you won't be able to afford to buy silver.
That's right.
Third, the government said something to that Jewish professor in Brown. What did he say to him? Happy Hanukkah? Merry Christmas? I don't think so.
Yeah.
How about Allah Akbar? God is great. And number four, what happened in Australia, there were female cops. What did they do when the shooting started? They ran and hid.
I heard.
You know it. Right. Women don't belong on the police force. They belong in the kitchen, in the bedroom.
You know that. Why would you? You didn't even have to add that, Frank. Come crying out loud.
And that goes double for a black woman. Now, and stop running your mouth going back and forth. Get back in the kitchen and bedroom where you belong.
I'm done with you.
All right.
Get out of here. Get out of here. The views expressed are those of Frank and Woodbridge. Don't even come my way with that, ladies. Don't even. I would never say that. Never. Although I tried my best to stop it. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Tom O'Hanlon's in for Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. This traffic report is brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. 84 westbound is busy, exit 56 to 45, and also on the eastbound side of 84 in West Hartford. Look at the brake lights there from exit 44 to 51. On Route 2, we're still doing okay westbound getting up into 84, relatively speaking. It is getting slower, but we're still moving. On Route 3, we're in decent shape. 91 southbound stop and go from North Meadows into 84, and also southbound 91 through Wallingford. Looks like a collision working there before East Center Street. We'll keep an eye on that. Stuck in traffic again? Don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day. Open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy and cold tonight, low 18, even a bit colder across some outlying areas. And will stay chilly tomorrow. Sunshine, some afternoon clouds, high 32. Partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday and becoming breezy. Not as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 43. Partial sun and up to 44 on Thursday, and we expect some rain Thursday night. Right now it is 25 degrees in Farmington. It's 24 at Plymouth and 25 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Warmest wishes for a joyous holiday season and a happy new year to you. Enjoy your quality time with family and loved ones. From your friends at Odyssey and Carter Mario Injury Lawyers.
This holiday season, when you get them steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the Radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans.
On News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Hey, we're back. Reese on the Radio. Hey, I just saw Dick Blumenthal on the screen there. And thank you, for those of you who are sending me messages now saying, good job getting Dick Blumenthal on the program. I really have to commend Joey. Joey actually did all the heavy lifting. But he knew what he was coming by for, because I had told the folks over at the Salvation Army that I would keep it sort of Salvation Army centric. And we'd still sort of banter a little bit about what he and I had discussed. He was a good sport in that regard. And like I said in the beginning of the show, my objective is to get Dequat out of the water. He wasn't even familiar. Try this on for size. I don't know if you knew this, but he wasn't even familiar with Aquathol K. And I told him that we have it on video, Aquathol K being used. He was like, what is that? And I was like, Aquathol K, they used in the Selden Cove. We have them on tape. We have them dropping it. The Army Corps of Engineers, nowhere to be found. I even told them the company Solitude out of Massachusetts that was there. They told us that the Army Corps of Engineers would be there monitoring their application of Aquathol K, and no one was there when we watched them put it in the water. No Army Corps of Engineers to be found. And we talked to every person who was on site, and they all worked for Solitude. And he didn't know about it. So, and that, again, that is not to absolve him of any responsibility. He's the person who got the wheels turning on this, on them putting this poison in the water. And I said to him, plain as day, it's this simple. You can't call something safe and effective and then spend 3 years testing to see if it's safe and effective. That doesn't make sense. Flies in the face of being safe and effective. Like, what are you studying? It's like me putting on deodorant and then having to go in the lab every day to make sure that I'm not putting aluminum in my body. And then selling the product with the line safe and effective across it. No. So, and I think that being reasonable, saying that the guy, hey, look, you're an environmentalist, you support, keeping the environment safe, you could step up on this one. And I think he wants to do that, which was my goal. And then once we get there, we'll hash out all the other stuff. But you got to stop asking me to punch these guys in the face. With all due respect, and I mean that figuratively, but so everybody understands what I mean by it, is that people want me to go to war on the air with them. I want results. And some things we know that they're not going to push back on it. But if we get them in the room and we have a conversation, and again, if they're the people in power, right? If they have the majority, if we get them in the room, we have a discussion with them, a meaningful discussion, and we lay out our facts, right? Empirical evidence, you lay that out. It's irrefutable. And if they still push back and they go, no, I don't think so, I'm like, okay, so there's no reasoning with them. There's no reasoning with that individual. He's playing politics. He doesn't care about what the facts are. Okay. But I think in this case with Dequat or Dequat, whatever it's called, I think we'll get somewhere. I really do. I really do. And that's my goal, to do all of that. Let's go to Mike in Hartford. How are we doing, Mike?
I'll tell you what. You hear the same thing over and over again after shootings. We need to change the laws. Laws. Now, if they want to kill you, they could use a car bomb. They could use chemicals. They could do anything.
Hey,
they
if you want to make
use a firearm.
You want to make an argument in the Australia shooting at, was it Bondi Beach? If you want to make an argument about it, what's Australia's rules on guns? The two individuals who we now, I guess, are reported a father and son, had their guns legally.
They had them legally, yeah.
Yeah, they legally possessed firearms and then took it out on citizens at a Hanukkah pageant. So again, this argument that their laws are supposed to prevent this, and what was their response to it? As you heard at the top of the hour, what was their response to it? More laws.
People are out there. They don't pay attention. I asked someone in my family years ago. I said, I brought up politics. Well, politics doesn't matter to me. It's not important. Really, look at your paycheck. Look at this. Look at that. You're surrounded by politics and the ramifications of decisions made in pitiful Hartford, Connecticut, and D.C. And these Democrats that are still in office around the country, they want stuff to go bad. They want stuff to look bad. They want civil unrest.
But you know what? And remember what that's about, right? Because then, you hear all this stuff about martial law. Donald Trump's going to create martial law. Remember, if you make mayhem in most of these places, right, where people can't fend for themselves, they can't afford basic needs like food or housing, you create that calamity for a state and make sure that every person there has to be on the dole. That's called government rule, and I agree with you, Mike. I think that's the grand old plan. Make sure that no one can make a decent living at all, so that they have to be dependent on the state.
How can people like Ocasio-Cortez and this Jasmine Crockett even be considered for office? Not to be voted in.
Wait, no. The Jasmine Crockett thing's going to end very soon. That's literally on its way. That is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Jasmine Crockett's about to be she's about to be a YouTube influencer by the time this is all said and done.
Don't you think they're using their sex and their race just to be out there?
Yeah, but
they think they're untouchable.
Listen to me. They're going to be fine. The Jasmine Crockett thing, that's, again, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, if she even remotely, outside of her running for Chuck Schumer's seat, outside of that, she's got no political future beyond that. The most she can do is be a rabble-rouser. I promise.
I want to add one point before I hang up.
Yes, sir.
You don't sound like you look. You look a little different than I pictured, but I still love you.
Nonetheless, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Let's go to PJ in Rocky Hill. How are you, PJ?
Good, thank you. Thanks for taking my call. On a different subject, I wanted to talk about the dealership prep fees that we have to pay today. I find it very interesting, though. Many years ago, you'd buy a car and they tell you they got the prep fee because they had to send somebody into the DMV to register your car.
Right, because and I'm almost certain, because I remember when I bought my Altima back in 2016, I think it was, they had everything right there, my license plate and the whole bit. Right.
So it's all done online now. So when I bought my Altima about the same time frame, I even emailed, and I can't remember who on the state rep was, but I asked them, are we going to look at this because to pay $650 for a prep fee that they no longer have to go into the DMV?
Holy moly!
You look at the prices of prep fees now; they're well over $600 or more.
Now it's a one-time fee, though, but nonetheless, they are tacking that onto the price of the car.
They are, and I don't think it's I personally don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's a legitimate charge because they're doing everything right there at their desk.
Right, exactly. And and I'm telling you, I remember, it's so funny you mentioned that. You brought me right back to the moment I got my car, because when I was sitting there saying to myself, like buying a car really for the first time from a dealership, I bought stuff from from one hand to hand sort of buying. But this was the first time I ever bought it from a dealership. So I'm sitting there, and the first thing, like we had been there for hours, as you always do. And I remember saying to myself, oh, damn, I can't drive this car home. I don't have a plate. And then I was waiting for him to say, no, he said, we got you covered. And in my head, I'm going, oh, you're going to give me a temporary plate? He goes, no, we got a plate right here for you that's already registered with the, I'm like, what? Because I never purchased the car before from a dealership. So I'm like, oh, really? I don't have to go to the DMV? They go, no, we got you covered right here. So I'm like, oh, okay. He said the only thing you have to do is go get your registration. I guess I had to go to the DMV for that. But I was just stunned by that they could do that right there. But you know what? I did not look at whether or not that fee was actually tapped on. Is that something new?
No, it's been there for a long time. So we've gone from we're used to be a couple $100. Now we go up to, the last time I bought my car, which was 2 years ago, it was $650.
Wow.
And so, I challenged it. I fight to at least, get that off the price of the car. They won't take the prep fee, but they'll bring it down,
So you'll haggle sort of the difference in the actual price of the car.
I will. I'll fight for it.
Yeah. Well, no, that's a good thing for people to know, because look at me. Guys like me didn't even know it was there.
It's there. Just like window etching. You buy a used car, they try to nab you again on the window etching. Make sure you look.
That's a good point. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. And right, it is something we should look into. But if you can actually haggle, if we can't get it, through the legislature, if you can haggle to sort of make that difference, you should do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Thank you.
You got it. Let's go to, who do we got? Let's go to Lisa calling for Cheshire. Hello, Lisa.
Hello there. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. What's up?
I was just thinking to myself, as I'm driving, and I hear you mention Democrat and stuff like. Do you know every time I hear that word or see that word, whatever, the hair stands on top of my head, and I just think, Satan, get behind me.
What? What? Wait a minute.
Serious.
What word?
Get the hell behind me.
What word
Democrat.
is Democrat?
Yes, my hair stands on my head, and I just get this weird feeling. Devil, Satan, get behind me.
What?
Get the hell behind me.
What do you? Are you? You're just triggered by the mere mention of the word Democrat.
The mere mention. I says I'm just going to call in and just say it. They're evil. I'm afraid of them because they're underhanded. They do. I'm just scared.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that, Lisa, because I've got a little time with this. I want to pull you away from seeing them as evil, because this may put you at a paranoid state. And if I'm hearing you correctly, you're kind of there.
Yes.
Am I right?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yes, you're
all
right.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. It is all right. I want you to deal with Democrats in a place where I've had to deal with them. And I've been, when I say immersed, I've gone to their protest and communicated with them. And I have an unfair advantage than most people. As a black man in a Democrat or progressive rally, they automatically think I'm one of them, because they are a little prejudiced and a tinge. Yep. They're a tinge bit racist. They see people through the lens of color, and they see a black person, and they go, "Oh, he's one of us. He's black." So when I talk
they don't like white men either.
Yes, right. But when I walk in and I start talking to them, they immediately start to question. It's like, is he a conservative? I'm not sure, but he's black. But that's fine. It gives me an advantage, and they get to reveal things to me that they normally wouldn't if I were a white Republican. Like if I walked in there with a MAGA hat, there would be no. But as a black man, I kind of can infiltrate, play double agent, so to speak. But here's what I learned from them, Lisa, and it's true. It's not about evil with them. One young man at a Texas No Kings rally said this to me, and he was very honest. He says, "We are morally superior than MAGA." That's what he said. We are. And why does he think that? Because he cares about his fellow man, and you only care about yourself. And this is what makes him morally superior, because he has decided in and of himself that he is going to take care of the world. He's going to make the world a better place and put it in his own vision, or have it sort of make itself in what he sees as a more prosperous and fruitful world where each man cares for each other and everybody else will be imprisoned or excised from our society. That's where he is. Now, you can see that and say, "Oh my God, that sounds evil, Reese." It might be. It might be. I'm not saying that these individuals wish to take your life themselves, but they don't believe that you are worthy of this utopia because you are too self-centered. Now, with that information, now you have to go through life talking to them, understanding that's who they are. So here's what I would say to you so you no longer have to fear them. Talk to them without telling them that you're a conservative. almost approach them as if you are one of them, and then listen to what they have to say. Just nod your head and just go, uh-huh, because what they want is affirmation. So just nod your head like you would a child. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. And just answer. Ask them very base questions. Don't push back on them with your ideology. Just ask them, and what would that mean? And how do you see that future? So you can understand them. Because you do not fear what you understand. You only fear the things that you don't. So what you need is an education into what they think so you can know if they are a threat or not. Do you want to try it?
Yeah. I will.
I think it'll be
helpful.
helpful.
But I'd be too scared.
No, it's okay. You don't have to be scared. Not only
They
listen,
don't wear it.
You don't have to be scared. The only thing that you should be fearful of is whether or not you're going to listen to them, and all of a sudden you're going to be so enraged you're just going to go, "I'm MAGA, you idiot!" Like if you end up screaming at them. No. Just be patient and listen to them. Hear them out, because the thing that we need. Look, I had a socialist on. What was his name? Nate Simpson on the show. People said, "Why would you have him on?" Because I need to understand why he thinks the way he does and where it comes from. Because we have more ammunition. They're handing us their playbook. They're telling us what they think. So we should listen, because we can't combat it unless we know what they think. We can't.
Yeah. But they act so freaky on TV. They have these parties and the dances and the trance and all that.
That's okay. Listen, in order to defeat them politically, we have to understand them. If we run in fear, we allow them to run roughshod over all of us. And so that's why we need to focus. We need to get inside and understand exactly what goes on, because then, and trust me, they are willing to tell us what they think. I promise you. They want to tell us what they think.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you.
But I don't know any, and I can't go up to them and
don't
say,
worry.
Listen,
You ride with me. Ride with me. We're going to take care of that. All right? Thank you, dear. I appreciate you.
Hey, Reese.
Yes, real quick.
I never knew you were black. You're telling me you're a black man. I always thought you were white, but you know what? That's pretty cool. I'm loving it.
You got it. Let's take a break. Let's get to Tom O'Hanlon. He's filling in for Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. On 84, if you're going westbound, you've got company from around Route 2 over to across the river and into downtown Hartford. 2 is still pretty manageable if you're trying to get up there westbound into 84. Also on 84 on the eastbound side, we've got plenty of traffic going up through Parkville and continuing pretty much up into Hartford. No collisions, but just traffic volume. If you're heading down 91, you'll see some stop and go. That starts around Jennings Road and continues down to 84. Going up on 91 into Hartford, you're okay. Looking at Route 3, that's still pretty good. Wilbur Cross is getting the job done. On 91, no major problems in either direction between Hartford and New Haven. And in New Haven, it is slow in 95 southbound going through the city. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy the rest of this afternoon, breezy and cold, high 26. Feeling even colder with the wind. Partly cloudy and cold tonight, low 18. Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 32. And some cloudiness tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday and breezy. Not as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 43. Thursday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 44. Some rain is then likely Thursday night into Friday. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Officials in Waterbury provided an update on the city's water crisis this afternoon. There's still 60% of the city with no service after the failure of a high-pressure water main over the weekend. An emergency valve was installed to bypass the break, although the water could flow by tonight. It's still not going to be drinkable, and a boil water advisory will remain in effect. Water Superintendent Brad Millay says tests could begin Tuesday, but those results won't be in right away.
We need the water to run clear before we can take the samples. It does us no good to collect dirty samples, wait 24 hours, realize they were indeterminate, and be back at square one on Thursday. It's better just to wait and collect the samples while they're clear.
Now, there's no school again tomorrow in Waterbury. Restaurants are being advised not to prepare food with the water. Bottled water distribution has been suspended. It'll resume once they can get more water in. It's been going fast, as one can well imagine. Connecticut State Police Trooper is facing charges following a one-vehicle crash in which he was involved Halloween night. The trooper is 24-year-old Jacob Dreschler. According to Southington Police, he is charged with OUI and carrying a firearm, among other offenses. This all stems from a crash that occurred October 31st around 10:30 on Flanders Road. Police say Dreschler struck a pair of mailboxes with his vehicle as well as a fire hydrant. He was off duty at the time. He's now free on $25,000 bond and is due back in court later this month in New Britain. Another news conference is about to get underway. An update on the shooting deaths on the campus of Brown University. That investigation is continuing. The mayor of Boston, about an hour away, Michelle Wu, said,
"It is unthinkable that we live in a world where you don't even have time to process one major horrific incident of violence before the next takes place."
Now, one person of interest was released, but police are releasing another video involving another person of interest in this case. The younger son of actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle has been arrested in connection with their murders. The couple were found stabbed to death in their Brentwood home on Sunday.
Investigators still have not said how Rob and Michelle Reiner were killed. The medical examiner came overnight and took the bodies of the couple, so they should be able to provide more information at some point. Now, police are not saying any information about the possible motive for the homicides, but we have learned that Nick Reiner struggled with addiction and homelessness.
Nick Reiner is being held on $4 million bond. President Trump said today a deal to end the war in Ukraine may be possible.
We're getting closer. We're having tremendous support from European leaders that want to get it ended also. And at this moment, Russia wants to get it. And the problem is they'll want to get it ended, and then all of a sudden they won't. And Ukraine will want to get it ended, and all of a sudden they won't.
Correspondent Stacey Lynn with more on the details hammered out with Ukraine and Berlin over the last couple of days.
We're getting closer. We're having...
In Australia, officials are vowing tougher gun control laws. This after a mass shooting at a Hanukkah celebration left 15 dead and others wounded.
People are obviously grieving. They are also angry. We've spoken to a number of residents here who say these acts of violence do not happen in Australia. And they blame the government for not doing enough to stamp out anti-Semitism, which is on the rise in this country.
Wall Street, the Dow down 41, NASDAQ down 137, S&P down 10 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
At Aiello Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at Aiello Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, Aiello. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S1041347, D104014665, S3308699, SN3004646, E1185643.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-438-8173. 800-438-8173. 800-438-8173. That's 800-438-8173.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I got to make sure before we get out of here, I want to talk about manufacturing. It's because of the story that was written about the Ford CEO and what he's doing with some of their part-time employees. But there was something interesting I learned about manufacturing as it pertains to Gen Z. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz and all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. Roland, that was your report. You missed your cue. You missed your cue. Now it's going to be a horrible Hollywood news. Anyway, by the way, if you're interested, send me a message on Facebook. So I just got word that the first Avengers Doomsday trailer has been leaked, or at least the description has been leaked online. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of excited. I've already heard it. I don't care about spoilers. Tell me everything. So I've heard some great news about the leak. So if you want to know about it, just send me a private message or instant message on Facebook, and I'll tell you exactly. I'll even send you the link of where you can actually go check it out. Are you interested in Doomsday? I know you are. Yeah. So, yeah, I just found out who the first trailer is going to be featured in one of it's one of four. And I just found out what all four of them are going to be. And the first one is one that is a doozy that I'm really excited about. So that is. In other Hollywood news, Oscar-nominated actor Lakeith Stanfield, who has stepped in to play NBA legend Dennis Rodman in the upcoming Lionsgate film 48 Hours in Vegas. And Stanfield, who's known for standout roles in Judas the Black Messiah, Get Out, and in the TV series Atlanta, he replaces Jonathan Majors in the project, which had faced delays. Well, what does the movie 48 Hours, what is it about? It's about the 48-hour escapade to Las Vegas by Dennis Rodman during the 1998 NBA Finals with the Chicago Bulls, with all the stuff that Dennis Rodman. So he asked Phil Jackson, the coach at the time, if he could take a break. And he went to Las Vegas, and it was bananas. Yeah. And now they're going to feature that in a film. Jordan had a TV movie about him. There's never been a Hollywood release about him at all. So I'm very interested in watching Dennis Rodman.
I don't know if he could play Dennis Rodman.
I don't think so either. I think Majors was a little too much as well.
Majors is too big.
I would just make Dennis Rodman play himself. If anything.
He got to have a son, right?
Yeah, he has to. Just anybody. This is one of those things where you have to pull somebody off the street. Yeah. Like when Micaiah Pfeiffer was pulled off the street to act in Clockers. You just got to pull a guy off the street who wants to be an actor who might look like Dennis Rodman.
Look like, yeah,
exactly.
Got to get a lookalike.
Got to get a lookalike who's like 7'1". Pull that guy off the street. Let's get another check on weather and traffic. Tom O'Hanlon is in for Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 is fairly manageable on the westbound side now. If you're getting into Hartford, that's where it slows down, crossing the river into the downtown area. Now on the eastbound side of 84, it's really pretty good compared to what it could be this time of day. If you're heading up through Parkville, we're moving along with some stop and go, and then it gets a little busier at the Hartford, but we're moving. On 91, about halfway down between 291 and 84, you'll see the brake lights just with traffic. Northbound looks pretty good, and 291, by the way, is in good shape. On Route 2, getting up into 84, that's really not bad. 3 and Wilbur Cross are in pretty good shape. We also look at 91, and we're also looking at 91, and that is moving along pretty decently both ways between Hartford and New Haven. Of course, going down through New Haven on 95, you've got stop and go. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Cloudy and cold tonight, low 18, lower teens across many outlying areas. Tomorrow, staying chilly, sunshine, some afternoon clouds, high 32, and partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday, will become breezy and not as cold Wednesday afternoon. Bit of a thaw on the way, high 43 and up to 44 on Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds. And rain is then likely Thursday night into early Friday before turning colder again later Friday and Friday night. Right out is 21 degrees in Torrington. It's 23 in Manchester and 25 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Planning for the future can be complicated, but attorney Haley Allaire makes it easier. Tune in every weekday morning at 8:15 for Elder Law Insights on WTIC News Talk 1080. Attorney Haley Allaire with Allaire Elder Law Firm shares real-world guidance and thoughtful tips to help you protect what matters most.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship has come back to life. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't affect just you. It also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted. They may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Northeast Men's Health, we've successfully treated tens of thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates well over 90%, which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, we're back. By the way, you can, if you want to give us a call before we get up out of here, you can call us at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Davey says Dennis Rodman has actually acted. He has. In fact, he did a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I can't remember what the other movie was. I know that it's... No, I cannot figure out what the other movie was. But I do know he acted with Jean-Claude Van Damme in an action film. It was absolutely panned. But I do know he acted before. And like I said, I think Dennis Rodman can play himself. Even narrate a movie. I think that would be cool as well. Also, I want to give a round of applause to our very own Morgan Cunningham. He announced that on January 3rd, between 9 p.m. and midnight, he'll be starting his own 3-hour program called Nighttime Neighbors. And he puts it here, it's a homespun talk show that combats a growing reliance on impersonal tech. We are living in a world in which people think chatbots, cell phones, and AI-infused toys are their friends, and that's not okay, according to Morgan Cunningham. So I'll embrace my idealistic allure through monologues, guests, and conversations to foster a community of truckers, shift workers, insomniacs, shut-ins, and whoever else is looking to talk that entertains and inspires. I like that. So congratulations, Morgan, and we'll see you next year, and of course every morning right here with Brian and Company. So I saw this story about Ford, and this was an interesting story because Ford is looking for workers, and they are trying to get Gen Z into their manufacturing plants all across the country. And part of the reason is those who do work don't stay. A lot of them are part-timers at Ford, and they work at part-time also at places like Amazon. And he said a lot of these kids are only getting about 4 hours sleep. Why? Because some of them are working 2, even 3 jobs. They make about $25 an hour working at Ford. And according to the CEO of Ford, he says that's not enough. And I agree. I don't think it's enough, not if you want to keep people. Jim Farley, by the way, is the president of Ford. So he went all the way back at the beginning of the founding of Ford Motors 121 years ago, and thought about how Henry Ford got folks to stay by raising their salaries. Obviously, but that's only part of the problem. It's not just money. The problem is Gen Z does not like manufacturing work. They don't. They don't think it's glamorous. And in a lot of ways, we've kind of crapped on it. I was thinking of movies like Norma Ray. Like factory work always looks like it's not very glamorous. I was just thinking that I don't even know, where did Eminem work in 8 Mile? He worked at a manufacturing plant. And everybody there looked gritty, old, and tired. They look frustrated. And that's always been the look of, because kids, kids look at work through social media, right? How it's portrayed in Hollywood and on television. And it never looks good. I remember the days of watching Roseanne on ABC back in the day. They all worked in manufacturing, and what was Roseanne's biggest complaint? They didn't make enough money. They didn't have health insurance. Everything was expensive. They were always struggling. They were always trying to put their kids through school or pay for things. They were always right at the brink of bankruptcy. So according to this story, it said it's absolutely true that young people, especially Gen Z and younger millennials, are largely rejecting traditional manufacturing jobs, contributing to a massive labor shortage that is crippling the industry. We're talking hundreds of thousands of unfilled positions today, projected to balloon into nearly 2 million unfilled jobs by 2033. That's per Deloitte and the Manufacturing Institute's latest reports. With up to 3.8 to 4 million new openings needed overall as boomers retire. This isn't some liberal media spin. It's hard data from sources like BLS, NAM, and industry surveys showing manufacturers struggling to attract youth despite decent pay and reshoring efforts. Critically digging here, while Gen Z is flocking to other blue-collar trades, be it construction up 23%, HVAC vehicle repair up 7%, vocational enrollment surging to 16% recently. Kids are ditching college debt for six-figure flexibility. And status gigs, or boss status gigs that are glorified. Factory work specifically gets a cold shoulder. Only about 14% of Gen Z say they'd consider industrial or manufacturing roles, and polls show just 25% of Americans overall think they'd be better off in a factory. Perception is killing it. Outdated stereotypes of dirty, dangerous, and monotonous assembly lines persist, even through modern plants that are clean, tech-savvy, or tech-heavy, with robots, AI, simulation software. Here's the rejection, or why they claim that there is rejection. Of course, the outdated image and boredom. Young folks envision Dickens-era sweatshops, according to reports. Career growth and development. Top reason Gen Z plans to leave or avoiding entering are perceived lack of advancement, training, or skill building. They want clear paths, mentorship, and room to innovate, not rigid not rigid hierarchies. I'm like, why am I reading that wrong? Okay, rigid hierarchies. Work-life balance and values. Gen Z prioritizes flexibility. This is the one that gets me. Mental health and purpose over grinding 40 hours plus. Many would rather be unemployed than unhappy in a mismatched jobs. Factory shifts often inflexible, high stress with safety concerns lingering in perception. The pay is another one. Now, I get the pay part. The other stuff I don't be paid attention. But the pay and the prestige. Every kid likes the prestige. The average rate of pay is $52,000 to $60,000. This is including the benefits premium, but below national averages in some views, especially versus trades or remote gigs. Societal bias still favors white-collar and prestige though that's shifting. Parental societal influence. Boomers and older parents steer kids away, fearing instability despite manufacturing's resilience. So again, as I said, a lot of us are steering kids away from manufacturing. I've worked in would a warehouse job be considered? No, I guess it's not. I don't think that's manufacturing. I worked in a warehouse before. And that was a temp job in Buffalo. To be honest with you, I'll admit, as a younger person in my late 20s, I hated that job. That was unfulfilling. That's because I had, loftier goals in mind. But I guess I can understand. If you're in your 20s and you're in your early 30s, you wouldn't think of working in the factory. Everybody thinks that they're a star. Everybody thinks that they're going to be like, corner office. There used to be a time where, remember when they used to say that they put them in public education so they could be workers? What happened to that? I would be happy to have that back. They said the public school education was doing nothing but breeding people who were going to work. Just going to work in the factories. Now these people have loftier dreams. What's wrong with these people? Let's go to Gary in Southington. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Reese. How you doing?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
All right. I'm calling in because I know a lot about manufacturing.
Please.
Hey, it was nice to meet you and Roseanne the other day.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to meet you, too.
Wonderful people you are.
Thank you.
And that was a real blessing when the kids came in and singing the Christmas carol.
Yeah. The Master's School, the Aria Choir, they were amazing and great kids to boot. And they liked me. I was actually pretty impressed.
I know. What's wrong with those kids?
So you worked, did you work in manufacturing, Gary?
I do work in manufacturing.
Oh, you currently do? Okay, please, tell us.
And you know what? Please stop using the word factory. It's not 1960 anymore. Oh, my gosh.
So wait a minute. If it's not called factory, what should we call it?
Manufacturing.
Oh, just manufacturing. Okay.
Most manufacturing, look, I'm a CNC programmer.
Okay.
And a lot of the manufacturing jobs now, they need engineers, they need CNC programmers, they need setup people, they need managers.
Mm-hmm.
These are all clean jobs. And actually, the real data on manufacturing jobs, what I have read as a whole, or pay more than the 4-year college degree. They're talking averages.
Okay. Yeah, the average they're talking about is this $52,000 to $60,000. That's an average rate across the board.
Right.
Some of the places, even Ford is saying here in this article, what they want to do is they want to go above and beyond. I guess the part-time rate, I think, was somewhere around $66,000. They want to go higher than that to lure Gen Z into that job.
Now, one of the problems that I've seen is that a lot of manufacturing, most manufacturing is computerized. So take CNC machines. Well, a lot of the kids are going to school for it. Even locally, there are schools where you can go for like 4 years. But it's hard to really learn in that. You have to be on the job to learn.
Yeah.
To learn that trade. Well, they don't want to. They come in and they think they're going to make, $35 an hour, but they're not ready. So they get discouraged real quick because it takes years to learn that. It really does.
It's the part I don't understand is that even Ford with building the assembly, right, that literally brought us the middle class, right, with the assembly line.
Yeah.
We brought us the middle class. they destroyed so many manufacturing jobs in places like Pittsburgh, in places like Ohio, right? All of those places were offshored. And, of course, it destroyed the middle class as we know it. It's literally hanging by a thread. The fact that in doing that, in sort of moving factory or manufacturing jobs, I apologize, out of the state or out of those states, right? It hurt the industry. Not only that, I was mentioning like how we portrayed it in our media. You know, they give this impression that all factory or manufacturing jobs look like Norma Ray, right? So that's the way when I think, Laverne and Shirley, at the pop stand, at the pop factory. I always think of that when everybody looks dirty, wearing a kerchief on their head, wiping off grease and looking disheveled, right?
There's always going to be a need for engineers, especially manufacturing engineers. And these jobs, a lot of them start at $80,000 a year. I know at my company, a manufacturing engineer starts at $100,000.
Damn, really?
Well, yes, and you work at Pratt Whitney, you're making probably $150,000 or something.
Wow.
There's a lot of good paying manufacturing jobs, and this is a pretty good state. And despite what the Democrats have done, this is still a pretty good manufacturing state.
Yeah, you know what? We might need to, and I think that's what we're going to do next year. We're going to start our little jobs program here on the show. And you know what? We may need to focus on manufacturing because I know some people out there who don't think that they have what it takes to get into those positions. They don't even know they're available. Because if you listen to the news, we hear every day that those jobs are gone.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah.
There is such a demand for CNC people, it's unbelievable. You talk to any recruiter, they're screaming for CNC people, but you have to put the time in and you have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good paying. They're good paying jobs. They have excellent benefits in most cases, and usually better benefits in other fields.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary.
Manufacturing.
Thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate the input. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, man. Good meeting you, too. Let's take a break. Let's get some weather and traffic. Tom O'Hanlon is in for Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. We'll be back.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. On 84, it's a pretty good ride if you're trying to get through Hartford, going westbound across into the city. You're in good shape. Route 2 looks pretty good westbound, feeding up into 84. A little stop and go here and there, but really better than it is some days. Now, on the eastbound side of 84, we're pretty good until you get up into Parkville, and even then, it's just some stop and go. If you're heading down 91, most of the ride is okay. By the time you get about, let's say halfway down, you do have some stop and go feeding into 84. And then 91 is good if you're working your way up into Hartford. On Route 3, we're in good shape. Wilbur Cross is moving along pretty well. And up and down 91 between Hartford and New Haven, that is a nice ride today. Southbound 95 through New Haven, not too surprising. It's fairly busy there. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday only at Staples. Save on top tech and gaming gifts, plus shipping supplies and services for safe delivery. Don't miss 50% off custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, and more. Visit staples.com/print for details. Staples. That was easy.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy the rest of this afternoon. Breezy and cold, high 26. Feeling even colder with the wind.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080.
Tomorrow, sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 32. And some cloudiness tomorrow, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday and breezy. Not as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 43. Thursday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 44. Some rain is then likely Thursday night into Friday. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Providence police have released another video and pictures of a person of interest in the shootings at Brown University this weekend. They'll be making those public soon. The video shows a man walking around in dark clothing, a black face mask, and a dark knit cap. They're asking anyone who may have information or perhaps additional video to give them a call. Work continues in Waterbury to fix that main that busted over the weekend. Distribution of Bottled water at 2 centers is suspended for now until they can get more water dispensed to the public. Some service has been restored, but a boil water advisory remains in effect for those folks. 60% of the city still has no water. They're hoping to test the water tomorrow. They put in a valve to bypass the original break, and if they can get those water tests back on Wednesday, they'll go from there. Son of Rob and Michelle Reiner has been arrested for the stabbing deaths of his parents. A couple were found in their Brentwood, California home on Sunday. Nick Reiner is being held on bond. Federal authorities have announced the arrests of 4 alleged members of an extremist group suspected of planning coordinated bombing attacks in Southern California. The arrests took place last week in the desert east of L.A. According to a federal criminal complaint, the suspects were preparing to test improvised explosive devices for planned bombings. Tens of thousands in Connecticut. Connecticut residents will see their medical debt eliminated. Letters are going out to 40,000. It's the third round of the Medical Debt Erasure Initiative. 168,000 have had their debt eliminated since the program began last year. Woman killed in a crash on Routes 5 and 15 in Wethersfield over the weekend has been identified. State troopers say 30-year-old Wendy Lara of Manchester collided head-on with another vehicle on Saturday. That investigation is ongoing. Dow finished down 41 points today. The Nasdaq gave back 137, and the S&P was down 10 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
ALO Home Services. Same-day electrical. I gave them a call, and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P102776688, S1041347, D104014665, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
The tradition of the WTIC holiday stores to benefit the Salvation Army continues. Please help us help families right here in Connecticut have a brighter holiday. Our holiday stores are open now through noon on Christmas Eve. For all the store info, go to WTIC.com/holiday. As always, we couldn't do this without you and our partners and sponsors, the Home Builders and Remodelers Association, Hartford Federal Credit Union, and Mitsubishi Power Aero.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Yeah, make sure you do that so you can catch all of the show, everything from the opening monologue where we talked about my interview with Richard Blumenthal and those who thought it would never happen, even to my dissertation of the truth post by Donald Trump about Rob Reiner. Speaking of which, stand by. So I'm reading this, and somebody from the United Spot posted this, and it is what we like to call a supercut to me and many others. Many others call it a montage. But they posted this. In fact, I'm going to put it on my X account. I'm going to repost it. And it's a series of comments coming from Rob Reiner, not just about Donald Trump, but about you and I, MAGA folks. This is the first one. Let's start it off with this one. He says, until Trump goes to prison, I will no longer be posting on Twitter. I've had it with the insults and put-downs. F all you MAGA a-holes. Rob Reiner. That's what he wrote. Those are his comments, nobody else's. Here's another one. Donald Trump is a rapist who led a deadly insurrection to overthrow the United States government. His followers don't care. He is about to become a convicted felon. His followers don't care. If we want to preserve our democracy this November, the rest of us must care. These are all the things that he wrote, right? Rob Reiner also wrote, this was May 16th of this year. Trump flip-flops. He does 180s. But the one thing he's consistent with is that is every day he breaks the law. This coming again from Rob Reiner. Also, this is from February 23rd of 25. The convicted felon president can continue to lie to his followers, but when the truth starts to affect their lives, they will abandon him, he wrote. Here's another one. The difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is Joe Biden is a decent, law-abiding person, and Donald Trump is a pathologically lying criminal, he wrote. Oh, this one's good. Rob Reiner attacks Rush Limbaugh as purveyor of disinformation day after Rush Limbaugh's death. Yes, that was Rob Reiner a day after his death. Here's another one. Donald Trump embraces white supremacy, uses the presidency to enrich himself, shuts out the media. Welcome to a nationalist totalitarian oligarchy. That is another tweet by him. The day after Rush Limbaugh died, Hollywood filmmaker Rob Reiner attacked the late conservative host as a purveyor of disinformation, saying that Americans must protect democracy from others like him. Yeah. So, again, there was no kind words for individuals after they died. None. At all. Talk about punching down. Rush Limbaugh was in the grave. Could you punch more down? And now you'll probably say, well, Donald Trump should be better than that. Hell no. No. This is what I say. We should always meet people with the same amount of energy that they give us. Always. If they're not going to bother to be kind and respectful to you, why should you? Like, why would it be incumbent upon you? Nonsense. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. We'll be back. Let's see if there are any more in here that are interesting. Let's get back to Tom O'Hanlon, filling in for Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 westbound has some stop and go as you're heading for the river right after Route 2. 2 going westbound up into 84, really not that bad. And there is some traffic going over to the Hartford side on Founders Bridge, but that can still get you there without too much aggravation. On the eastbound side of the 84, we're moving along pretty nicely up into downtown Hartford. On the westbound side in West Hartford, still some brake lights just with the traffic flow. On 91, we're not bad at all between 291 and Hartford, and also looking at Route 3 and Wilbur Cross, we're in pretty good shape. Up and down 91, really not a lot happening between Hartford and New Haven. Right around 691, there's some exiting volume, but that's about it. And going southbound in New Haven, 95 is fairly busy to West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy and cold tonight, low 18, lower teens in most suburbs. Sunshine mixing with a few clouds tomorrow. It'll stay chilly with a high of 32 and some cloudiness tomorrow night, low 24. Partly sunny on Wednesday, but can be breezy and not as cold. High 43 Wednesday afternoon and a mixture of clouds and sunshine Thursday. High 44. So rain is likely Thursday night into the day on Friday. Right now it is 21 degrees in Vernon. It's 23 in Marlboro and still 25 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
It's time to order your certified Angus beef rib roast for the holidays from Highland Park Market. Highland Park Market also has delicious chef-prepared side dishes and our famous Swedish cardamom ring in limpa bread. Nobody does it better than Highland Park Market. Only in Manchester, Glastonbury, Farmington, and at highlandparkmarket.com.
This holiday season, when you get them steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit steelusa.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee.
For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, we are back and about to get up out of here. Don't forget, if you haven't heard, gubernatorial candidate Ryan Fazio will be on the program on Friday when we are live at the Avon Old Farm Hotel. And we'll be there, of course, for the holiday store. So if you'd like to come on out, please do. You know where it is. Come and visit us. We'll be there from 2 to 6. We have some other interviews there as well. If I remember correctly, I think Netzie is coming out from the Marshall House. Can't wait to see her and talk to her. And for you guys to learn what she does there. Had so many great conversations with her, having met her twice. Can't wait till she comes on the air to come hang out with me. I'm gonna talk to her about a whole bunch of stuff when she comes to the studio, or it comes to Avon Old Farms for that matter. So we'll talk to her about that. So we got Ryan Fazio. I know we have Netzie Jimenez, who's going to be there as well, and plus a whole bunch of other things. And I'm sure you folks will come by, drop off donations. Don't forget to also go to 31333. Text WTIC to 31333. And you can donate. You can do it actually periodically. You can put it in there for a bi-weekly, bi-monthly, and all that good stuff. Yearly even if you want to make a donation. But we're trying to get that number up to $30,000 this year. Last year we got it up to $25,000. So text to give at WTIC at 31333. So get that done. Dr. Steve is back, and I can only assume, Doc, what you're calling about. What do we got this time?
I can't wait to see if you're correct or not. But before I say anything, whatever you say about Rob Reiner, can we agree that Spinal Tap is one of the greatest movies of all time?
Well, yes, I will say that. But in my view, I'm sorry, on my top 5 list is The Princess Bride. I love that movie.
Oh, totally fair. It would be hard for me to put Princess Bride beneath Spinal Tap. I'll agree with you to put them on the same tier.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So my comment is, I appreciate that many of the comments that Rob Reiner said were off color. They were petty, etc. But I think you and I would both agree there's a difference between Rob Reiner and Donald Trump. Can you say what you think I'm going to say?
I'm going to go with.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. I don't know what you're going to say about this, but I will say this: I do not believe. Do I believe that the two men are different in some way because of as far as their stature is concerned? My answer is no.
Okay, well, if your answer is no, I will say my answer is yes.
Okay.
I would say that however much you might challenge what Rob Reiner said, Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. He's the most powerful man in our nation, arguably the most powerful man on earth. And what kind of person can go on? What kind of narcissistic, petty, thin-skinned, vindictive loser can make an attack on a dead man while he's the president of the United States? I mean,
Wait. Hold on. I think, listen, the bottom line is, dude, you got to get what's coming to you. Rob Reiner. Okay, so let's take Rush Limbaugh versus Rob Reiner. Who would you consider?
No. Reese, we're not, though.
Why not?
I'm not talking about Rush Limbaugh. I'm talking about what Donald Trump did first against a dead man.
What did he do? Listen.
Donald Trump is the president of the United States.
But what did he do?
I don't know how you can defend him.
I'm going. If you give me an opportunity, Dr. Steve, I will. And I'm not even defending Donald Trump. I'm calling it. I'm calling it for what it actually is. Listen to me. Just hear me out. You are saying that Donald Trump did something that was heinous in nature by just writing that Rob Reiner had Trump derangement syndrome, as if that's a lie. It isn't. It isn't a lie. And he clearly did. He went above and beyond to not just attack his presidency, but he actually put sweat equity and his own money to undermine his office. He helped congressional Democrats completely sabotage, if not overthrow, the president of the United States with a false Russia claim. He was active in that. So and again, people talk about Donald Trump punching down. Rob Reiner made it his personal effort to actually undermine the president of the United States. And he used his prestige and his own money to do it.
Reese, if you were the one who was attacked by Rob Reiner, I would say have at it. Do everything you possibly can to speak ill of a man who's dead.
No, I don't think he spoke ill of him.
I'm talking about the president.
I don't think he spoke ill. But Dr. Steve, he didn't speak ill of him. Here's the thing, Dr. Steve. Hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Because I got to grab this thing, but I don't want dead air. Listen, He didn't speak ill of him. He said a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle. He starts it off with, he was absolutely honest here. What did he say that was so demeaning? Here's the thing that everybody's got a problem with. Reportedly due to his anger caused others through massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with the mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession with Donald Trump. He did drive people crazy, and he did have an obsession with Donald Trump. None of those things are lies. He did not say that Trump derangement syndrome got him murdered. He made everything he said here is a fact. Everything.
I think a more mature, decent man would not have to call those quote-unquote facts to bear on the day of a man's death. And it makes me like I wish that our leaders would be people that would inspire the youth of today to see what being mature, decent, kind is.
Like Obama?
The exact opposite of that. Again, let's not go to different people. I'm focusing on the man who is currently
You're talking about the office of the President of the United States. Right? The office of the President of the United States. And you're holding Donald Trump to a higher standard as President of the United States than you're willing to hold others.
That's true. I mean, you've seen what he's written like on Easter. The messages he sends on like national holidays where he throws, who's he throwing under the bus? He throws me under the bus for disagreeing with him on freaking Easter.
But wait, hold on. You have to understand, right? There is nothing beyond the pale that people aren't willing to throw at Donald Trump, even so much as to call him a murderer, right? Which Chris Murphy has done. Chris Murphy, hold on. Chris Murphy has gone on the stage in Texas and said that the President of the United States is at the center of a child sex ring. Okay? So
and if we were going to have a conversation about Chris Murphy, we could talk about
no,
that.
No. But what I'm saying
We're
is
talking about
that
the person who is
I
currently in charge.
am saying that. So what I'm saying is that turnabout is fair play, right? So does Rob Reiner get to say whatever he wants about Donald Trump, and then does he? He gets to say whatever he wants, and Donald Trump gets and Donald Trump has no license to say anything. The president, the leader of the free world, the most powerful man in the world, is not supposed to say a thing?
I think that can you agree that there's something immature and thin-skinned about the action? Well, then
and I'll tell you why. Here's why, Dr. Steve. Here's the reason why.
Yeah.
Here's the reason why. I refuse
would you want your kids to behave like that? Honestly,
wait, my kid? Whoa. See, again, I'm going right back to people talking about this, and this was said during the Hillary campaign. This was said. Yeah. Hillary, in fact, put out a campaign that said, "Our children are watching." The things that Donald Trump says. And then imagine that after the guy gets into office, people are running around saying that Donald Trump's going to bring back slavery. Not once did anybody bring back the Hillary ad and say, we shouldn't be talking like this about our kids. People said that he was a threat to democracy. Whoa. He was a threat to democracy. People said that if he's elected.
Wait.
Of course you are. You're allowed to say anything that you want, but what you want is a submissive president who says nothing and just lets it fall off his...
No, there's a big difference between being submissive and being powerful.
Okay, so what do you... Okay, how about this one? Let's try this on for size, Dr. Steve, just so we can get...
Jesus, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus...
Donald Trump ain't Jesus. Hold on, I thought we weren't comparing. You stopped me...
Go ahead.
Dr. Steve, you stopped me at every road where I tried to compare, and you said, well, let's not compare, and now you're comparing to Jesus. So,
I did throw Jesus out there. For that I'm wrong.
You told me I couldn't. So what I'm trying to ask you is, it's real simple. It's real simple, and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Okay? I know you don't like what Donald Trump does. I get it, and I know that it incents people because Donald Trump should behave better. But here's where I will appeal to your better angels, right? I think that Donald Trump owes it to to the people who support him to push back on anyone who tries to undermine his presidency, and he doesn't sit there and allow it to happen because people are saying, like, people are going to stand around and say, dude, are you not going to defend yourself? And he does. And sometimes it ticks people off. But people who really follow Donald Trump and understand him, they know. And I can read between the lines on this statement. He said, rest in peace. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. He said a very sad thing happened last night. He talked about how it was tragic that what happened to them. You may not like the Trump derangement syndrome thing, but everyone is ignoring the fact that he said, may they rest in peace.
That's fair. I appreciate that, and that is a fair point.
Well, okay, then fine. We can agree with that. Thank you, Dr. Steve. I love you, man. I miss you all the time, man. Thanks for always for coming back. Dr. Steve knows I love him. He doesn't have to agree. Rex, you've been in and out, man. Every time you call up, you got to hang up. Are you working? Rex, are you there?
Oh, no, I'm not working. I'm just listening to you, Reese. You're amazing, dude. You're freaking amazing. I'm a long time, first time, and I just want to say God bless you for your perspective. And I am a brother from a different mother. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Rex. I appreciate that.
No. And so, listen, man, this growing up in the Farmington Valley of Connecticut, and I know you're newer here, this great state. But let me tell you, man, what is going on right now, and the political environment, and you nailed it with Chris Murphy. And thank God that you brought Blumenthal on. Listen, we live in a very, very blue state. Yeah. I get that. I am not living on that side of the spectrum. I've been here my entire life, 63 years. All I can say is that it just seems like we need more balanced discussion. We don't have any balanced discussion. I don't care if you're left or right. We don't have it.
That's what I'm trying to do here. And again, listen, Rex, people like you who call up, and I totally love it, and thank you for making this your first time. But I tell people all the time, I do this program which might be in a lot of ways an echo chamber because a lot of conservatives look, but I appeal. I talk directly to liberals because I know that they listen in vast quantities. They listen. And I tell them all the time, you guys don't want to have a spirited discussion on this because when you do, you always fall short. But you know what? I'll keep inviting you back. I will never, I'll never shun you.
No, you do, but you do it with facts and you do it with grace. And the thing that I like today, the whole discussion around what President Trump, it's President Trump.
That's right.
Not Donald J. Trump. He's the president of the United States, okay? The way you articulate what he said about Rob Reiner, and listen, I'm old enough to have remembered, Archie Bunker. I remember that, okay? But the point is, Trump wasn't being disparaging and mean to Reiner. The reality is that Reiner has been brutally intense to Donald Trump for all the years he was in office.
Indeed. And Donald Trump was leaps and bounds more forgiving to Rob Reiner than Rob Reiner was ever to him.
Absolutely. God bless you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for taking my call. I will be calling more often. I can't wait to meet you in person.
Thank you, sir. You got it. We got to get up out of here. Thank you so much. Beckman says you're 100% correct. What did Craig write? Craig said, I had 3 people in business try to ruin me and my family professionally, financially, and personally. Being dead doesn't give any of them a pass if asked. And I said, if I were to read this, I don't understand what the outrage is about. I don't get it. And I know it's reaching. I know what it is. It's like, Trump made this about himself. Did he, though? I don't think so. He said, rest in peace, Rob and Michelle. All right. As I always say, radio was free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you. We miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you at the Avon Old Farms Hotel. I got to remember to say Old Farm. We'll be there tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Come on by and say hello for the holiday store. Mark Christopher's out, but we got Tom O'Hanlon. He is getting you home in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, guys.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 is doing right by you this evening on the westbound side. If you're crossing the river into Hartford, we're looking good. On the eastbound side, really not much happening now. It's eased up nicely as you're getting into downtown Hartford and vicinity. Just watch for some stop and go.